गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। कैसे सब लोग? तो मिस्टर नारायण, हेमंत and all. So today topic which we have yesterday in the last class, we have not completed the demand and recovery. Today we will complete. Also, whatever we have discussed in the demand and recovery in the last class, we will try to revise all as well. And again, let me know, tomorrow afternoon we will have the revisionary class, the last class for the GST, and there would be one more class on the custom part. And tomorrow evening we will have the regular class, offenses and penalty, very important, in which we will discuss the penalty provisions practically as well as from exam point of view. Both are important. From both perspective, the class are important. And very good evening once again. Let me start. Please tell me difference. Let me ask the question once again. Before starting the point at which we have left in the last class, couple of point let me ask. Please tell me the section 73 or section 74 can be initiated because of the 5 reasons. 73 या 74, 5 कारण है जिसके कारण स्टार्ट हो सकता है. Quickly tell me what are the 5 reasons by which it can be initiated. Please tell me what are the 5 reasons by which it can be initiated. Correct, Hemant? Tax not paid. Yes.
Short paid, not paid.
Your good name?
Madhvendra Narayan.
Okay. Tax not paid.
Suppression of turnover.
No. It will come in the tax not paid or short paid. Next.
Erroneously refunded.
Yes, erroneously refunded. And ITC wrongly availed
and claimed
or wrongly utilized. What is the difference between avail or utilized?
Sir, avail is what we take credit in our electronic credit ledger, and utilize is the payment from electronic credit ledger to settle the output liability.
Okay, fine. Thank you, beta. So, Prashant, you have also given the reply like short paid, ITC wrongly availed or utilized. Only point, can you tell me that is it ITC? मैं क्या पूछ रहा हूं? Let me explain. Let me write here. ITC wrongly availed and one more word is utilized. Yes. Please tell me in this, is it or is it and? जो सेक्शन 73 या 74 है, इसमें wrongly availed और utilized है या wrongly availed and utilized है? Kindly tell me for section 73 and section 74, is it wrongly availed and utilized है या wrongly availed or utilized है बेटा? Can you please tell me कि wrongly availed and utilized है या wrongly availed or utilized है? The answer is ज्ञानेंद्र. अब जिस सेक्शन की बात कर रहे हैं ना, वो सेक्शन, सॉरी क्या कह रहे हैं?
और
it is or. Absolutely correct. It is or. Now my question is, tell me the provision where ITC availed and utilized is there. Kindly tell me the provision जहां पर ITC availed and utilized हो गया. पहले ये और हुआ करता था and now it was and. Tell me the provision in which this amendment is effective and now it is availed and utilized. Okay. Prashant, you are correct. And Mr. Prashad, I hope it is clear, na? Correct, correct. Absolutely correct, Gyanendra. The provisions are, these provisions are, these provisions are wrongly availed and utilized. It is amendment in the section 50 subsection 3. It means ITC अगर मैंने avail की है क्या interest लगेगा? Answer is it depend upon utilization. If I have wrongly availed but not utilized, it means do I need to pay the interest? If I have wrongly availed but I have not utilized, do I need to pay the interest? Do I need to pay the interest? The answer would be no. I am not required to pay the interest. I am not required to pay the interest. Very nice. Second question to all of you. Assume that we are talking about financial year 23-24 and the annual return ka due date is, what is the due date of annual return for financial year 23-24? What is the due date of annual return for the financial year 23-24? It is absolutely 31st December 2000. Can you please write the year also? I am talking about the financial year 23-24. What is the due date of annual return? 31st December 2024. Now calculate what is the time limit. Now calculate what is the time limit for so-cause notice and for order if the proceeding was initiated under section 73, and what would be the last date to issue the so-cause notice and order if the proceeding was initiated against 74. If the proceeding against the taxpayer was initiated 73 or 74. If you give me the exact date like this instead of like writing. So Hemant, you are correct, but can you please give me the exact date? So Prashant, आपसे भी मेरा यही क्वेश्चन है, what would be the last date to issue the so-cause notice? And Prashant, to you this is the question, that what is the last date to issue the so-cause notice and order under section 73 as well as 74 if the matter pertain to financial year 23-24 for which the due date of annual return is 31st December. That is my question. So okay, so Prashad, you have joined here, is it? Are you Revan Prashad, right? Revan Prashad. Correct. Very nice. So, Mr. K. Prashant, you are giving the reply in my that particular board of studies ka jo panel hai. If you also can join here in the Zoom, it would be better so that there will be no time gap in the discussion. The answer is what is the due date for so-cause notice if it is being issued under section 73 or if it is issued under section 74, along with tell me the last date to issue the notice.
So 3 months.
नहीं अभी आप अनम्यूट मत कीजिए माधवेंद्र. The reason is because everyone has the opportunity to type, correct ना? तो अभी अगर आप बोलेंगे तो सबको सुनाई दे देगा. So I request, अदरवाइज कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है मुझे, बट अभी थोड़ी देर के लिए आप एक बार यूज कीजिए चैट को, ठीक है? इज इट ओके?
Okay, sir. Okay.
No problem. Thank you, beta. So what is the last date to issue the notice? You have given the reply in the chat, right? माधवेंद्र, एक बार चैट पे रिप्लाई करना बेटा. Kindly give the reply in the chat if it is convenient to you. The last date to issue the so-cause notice is, so we were talking about financial year 23-24, for which the annual return ka due date is 31st December 2024. And what is the last date to issue the order? At 3 years, 31st December 2027. Am I right? And what is the last date to issue the order in 31st December 2029? Correct? And minus 6 months. It means 30th June 2029 and minus 3 months. It means 30th September 2027. Anyone has any doubt with respect to this, please let me know. किसी को कोई भी डाउट है तो एक बार आप पूछ लीजिए, because 73-74 are main provision by which we are again discussing today. Yes, in the last class we had the discussion in detail. Is it 31? Why 31? ज्ञानेंद्र why 31? 5 साल ही है ना ज्ञानेंद्र? Okay, wrongly. Fine, no problem, beta. Please do not disclose this in video. Oh. No, beta, कोई problem नहीं. No problem, beta, no problem. Thank you. So, fine. So, we are okay with this, that we had done the discussion of 73 ka, 74 ka time limit. Now, just tell me the penalty percentage. When, like I am talking about section 73. So, there would be some staggered manner ka penalty. 73 and 74. First complete the penalty for 73 कि 73 में कब penalty लगेगा, when the penalty will not be leviable. Kindly complete for 73. I'm giving you the time, you can type in the chat. अब आप मुझे कंप्लीट कीजिए कि 73 की पेनल्टी कब लगेगी, 74 में पेनल्टी कब लगेगी, 73 में पेनल्टी कब माफ हो जाएगी. देयर इज नो पेनल्टी. वी हैड द डिस्कशन कि बिफोर, इसके पहले, आफ्टर, इसके पहले इतना दिन नो पेनल्टी, समथिंग 74 लोअर पेनल्टी, देन हायर पेनल्टी, देन हायर पेनल्टी, समथिंग वी हैड डिटेल डिस्कस्ड. तो आई एम सेइंग काइंडली टेल मी the percentage of the penalty in section 73. Okay. Gyanendra has given the answer. Let other also give the answer. And okay, Prashant, you are also giving. I have the issue with the drive. Okay, audio. No problem, beta. Okay, beta, no problem. So Prashant, you have given the right answer. Absolutely correct. Thank you so much. Very nice to see your reply. Now you tell me K Prashant. I'm talking about K Prashant and everyone here in the Gyanendra, Hemant, Madhvendra, everyone, Revan Prasad, Gini, everyone are requested. If you can give the reply in the chat, whomsoever can give the reply in the chat, ki penalty kitna lagega. Wow, very nice answer. All participant has given the superb, really superb, yeah. I really appreciate Mr. Revan Prasad. Super beta, super, doing great. Very nice answer. And rest all the participant has also given the very nice answer. Okay. So what is the answer final? Final answer is, what is the final answer? The final answer is before SCN. Before SCN, if the tax along with interest has been deposited prior to SCN, no penalty. Correct? After SCN, then within how many days? Within kitna din? If after SCN, tax has been deposited along with interest, then also no penalty. Within how many days? Absolutely correct, Hemant, Gyanendra, Jini. 30 days. Kitna din? 30 days. Then again, no penalty. No penalty. If the order has been issued, now, if 30 days has been crossed, so still order has not been issued. This situation may come in the exam. No order has been issued. Tell me, I'm asking new thing or telling new thing to all of you. Assume that no order has been issued, but only SCN issued, but 30 days has been crossed. 30 days has been crossed. What would be the penalty after 30 days? But order has not been issued. The penalty would be after 30 days, the penalty would be 10% or 10,000, whichever is higher. Okay. After order, then 10% or 10,000, and after 30 days of the order, then also same. Correct. Now let me start with the section 74. Now let me start with the section 74. Section 74. Tell me, if before SCN, if someone is ready to make the, if someone has made the payment along with interest, kitna percentage of penalty? How much percentage of penalty? How much percentage of penalty? Penalty is applicable or not in that case? Applicable. So tell me, how much percentage of the penalty will be leviable in this case? In which case? Case agar 74 ka hai, if the it is section 74 ka penalty hai, and the taxpayer ready to pay the tax along with interest before so cause notice, what would be the quantum of the penalty? All are correct. The 15%. All are correct. 15. All are correct. The penalty ka percentage would be 15%. Penalty would be 15% of value, or penalty would be 15% of tax. Penalty किसका लगता है? वैल्यू का लगता है या टैक्स का लगता है? पेनल्टी वैल्यू का लगता है ना? Will it be value? No, sir. You are wrong. Penalty would be of? Absolutely correct. This could be also sometimes mistakenly mentioned in the exams. You can mention in the exams, or might be the examiner asked the question in this way. So the answer is 15% of all tax. Always tax. Okay. After SCN within 30 days. After SCN within 30 days, kitna percent penalty? How much percentage of the penalty? How much percentage of the penalty? Answer is absolutely correct. 25%. Very nice. Jini, Hemant, Gyanendra, Raghavan. So sorry, I'm wrongly pronunciating your name, Mr. Prasad. It would be better. R Prasad, na? Okay. So all are doing the correct, all are giving the correct reply. And here K Prashant is also giving the correct reply. Very nice, beta. I would be able to see now new participant, new students. Just tell me one reason. I'm talking to K Prashant. I'm talking to Prasad, R Prasad. You not always come in the classes. See, I do agree that you will have the tougher schedule in a days. Might be you have the articleship, might be you have the office, and then you are matlab means taking the classes. That I fully agree with you. Just tell me anything which we board of studies can do to attract more student in the class. Is there anything which we board of studies can do, can help, so that more participant, more student can come in the class? I I feel that there is no problem in the quality of the class. Correct. Every faculty. I'm talking about कि faculty के point of view से quality में तो कोई problem नहीं है. Am I right? Just asking. Because whenever any teacher teach the subject, if major participant come in the class, do the discussion, make the interactive, the enjoyment level would be very, very high for the faculties also. And I can assure that quality of that class, not only me, I'm talking about for every teacher, the quality of the outcome would be also super. So any participant who has, I do not have the problem. See, why you came today only, why you not came in the last class. I do not have any problem. Just I am asking so that some steps can be taken to give the more benefit by the board of studies to every student. That is the point. Madhvendra, you are able to type. Are you not able to type? Means chat में type नहीं कर पा रहे, is it? Because I am not getting the reply from you.
सर मैं कर तो रहा हूँ सर, पता नहीं क्यों जा नहीं रहा है.
Is it?
हाँ सर, मैं चैट कर रहा हूँ सर, मतलब लिख रहा हूँ सर, पर वो रिसीव नहीं हो रहा है सर, हमारे नाम भी नहीं ले रहे.
No. Okay. Fine.
सर हमें सर प्रॉपर मेल पे या मैसेज पे कम्युनिकेशन नहीं होता सर. ये लाइव क्लासेस का कब शेड्यूल्स होते हैं और इसके मतलब तो फिर मैं खुद से अपने से वो इनको रिसर्च करके ढूंढ के बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज से फिर मैं यहाँ पे आ पाया हूँ सर.
Oh, is it? Fine. R. Prasad has given. Okay, fine. R. Prasad, your point has all been taken care, and your point also taken care. ठीक है. Okay. Prashant is saying. Fine. You are saying something?
सर बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट के प्रोग्राम हमारे मैसेज पे मेल पे आते रहते हैं, बट ये क्लासेस के बारे में नहीं आता सर.
Is it?
जी.
Fine. मैं पूछ लेता हूँ एक बार. So will help you to that it should communicated. Fine.
So sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, please.
Who is the students?
Madhvendra.
Madhvendra. So
Okay.
how can you know about the classes?
ये क्लास के बारे में माधवेंद्र कैसे मालूम चला? थोड़े हेल्प करेंगे तो इट विल बी ग्रेट फॉर ऑल ऑफ
Yes, sir.
अस.
It will be.
हम सर बीओएस के ऐप से सर हम यहाँ तक आ पाए हैं सर.
तो बीओएस ऐप के बारे में आपको पहले नहीं पता था?
नहीं, ऐप में सर पता था, पर क्लासेस के लिए कभी जाते थे तो सर हमें उसके प्रॉपर शेड्यूल्स या ऐसे मेल या मैसेज पे हमें आता नहीं था कि लाइव कब आएंगे. मतलब क्लासेस तो होती है पर ये टाइम और सर शेड्यूल्स नहीं आते थे सर.
तो आपने शेड्यूल चेक किया होगा तो उसमें टाइमिंग में भी मेंशन हो रही होंगे.
वहाँ पे जूम लिंक का भी इशू हुआ था तो मैंने फिर कल जाके मैम से जूम लिंक लिया है, तो अभी बताया कि जूम लिंक हमारे सेम रहेंगे सभी क्लासेस में, तो तभी मैं रेगुलरली अटेंड कर पा रहा हूँ.
Yeah. Okay, we will consider for the next batch.
Yes. Sure. Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah.
So we were talking about section 74. Now tell me, section 74 का staggered penalty जो है, if it is before SCN, then can I say no penalty? No. In the 74 and 73, just tell me what is the difference between 73 versus 74. एक मुझे difference बताइए 73 या 74 में. Just tell me the difference between 73 and 74. Quickly tell me difference between 73 and 74. R. Prasad, just can you please confirm one thing? R. Prasad, can you please confirm one thing only, that is it only you are talking from GST perspective or from overall all perspective? Whatever the feedback you have given to me, क्या ये आपका पॉइंट सिर्फ जीएसटी के पर्सपेक्टिव से या ओवरऑल ऑल सभी के पर्सपेक्टिव से? जस्ट टाइप इन द चैट, दैट इज ओके. सो yes, your answer is correct. Yes. My question to all the student, what is the difference between 73 and 74? क्या डिफरेंस है 73 में और 74 में? Can you please help me identify what is the, because we know the reason are same: tax not paid, short paid, erroneously refunded, wrongly availed, or wrongly utilized. We all know that things, mistake are same, but then what is the difference between 73 and 74? Absolutely, all participants, all students are correct. 73 is non-fraud case and 74 is the fraud case. So because it is unintentional mistake, there is no mala fide intention, therefore they have given the waiver of penalty before SCN, after SCN, within 30 days something. But in the 74, penalty would always be there. Now, if it is before SCN, then kitna penalty hai? Please confirm. If it is before SCN, then what is the quantum of the penalty? If it is before SCN, then what is the quantum of the penalty? 15%. After SCN, but within 30 days. After SCN, within 30 days, then what is the quantum of the penalty? 25%. And if it is after order within 30 days, what is the quantum of the penalty? After order within 30 days, what is the quantum of the penalty? 50%. And if you will lose to make, if you will not make the payment, then you will lose this opportunity of smaller or reduced percentage of the penalty. So after 30 days, after order, after 30 days, it will always be 100% of the penalty. This would be the summary of the 73 and 74, whatever we have discussed. Okay. Now let's move further. In the last class, we have multiple things we have discussed, right? Which may I will come and try to give the revision of that class also, that point also. But yes, I will go to the section 79. I will go to the section 79. So at this stage, we have completed in the last class. What is the recovery proceeding in the GST law? Recovery proceeding are final steps toward the realization of any tax or other amount which has been confirmed as payable after following the due process. Initiation of the recovery proceeding. Amount payable by a taxable person must be paid within a period of 3 months from the date of the service of the order. If taxable person failed to make the payment within a period of 30 days, within a period of 3 months, then the recovery proceeding would be started. You tell me from your understanding why 3 months has been given. Can you tell me in the chat कि 3 महीने का reason क्या है? What is the logic of 3 months? Why they have given 3 months? Kindly tell me what is the logic of 3 months. मैंने अभी तक आपको नहीं बताया. That we will discuss in the subsequent classes, not today. But kindly tell me what is the logic of 3 months. What would be the logic of 3 months? The answer is when we will read the section 107. When we will read the section 107, appellate mechanism, you will understand the time limit to make the appeal is 3 months. It means the taxpayer against whom the adjudication order has been issued, the person has the right to make the appeal within 3 months. And that is the reason why the 3 month has been given in the section 78, because अगर वो 3 महीने में पे नहीं करता, it could be the reason that he like to go for appeal. What is the concept of appeal? What is the concept of appeal? It means he is, let's say I am a GST officer and there is a Mr. A. I have issued the demand order against Mr. A for 73-74. Now Mr. A is saying whatever the allegation is made by me, that is not correct. So I like to go for the appeal. Can I start the recovery if he is going for appeal? Answer is no. So what is the time limit of appeal? Time limit of appeal is 3 months. So till 3 months has to wait. Very rare situation and the reason to be recorded in writing. if the officer consider it is expedient, मतलब जरूरी है जल्दी रिकवरी करना, क्यों करना, he has to write the reason. Then he can start the recovery proceeding within a period of less than 3 months also. ठीक है, let's move further. Anyone has any doubt, any question, you definitely unmute or yourself, or you can type in the chat whatever you want. I am okay in both. ठीक है. Now, recovery of the taxes. If the payable amount is not paid, if the payable amount is not paid by a person within the specified time limit of 3 months, recovery proceeding shall be initiated at and various action can be taken. क्या action है? That we will discuss. What is the 25? Quickly tell me what is the meaning of distinct person. Quickly, I know you all are very, really very easily can give the reply. What is the meaning of the distinct person? Still, I am asking, what is the meaning of distinct person? What is the meaning of distinct person? One pen and multiple registration. One pen and multiple registration. One pen and multiple registration. If one distinct person is, if two distinct person are doing the transaction without consideration, will it be a supply? If the two distinct person are doing the transaction without consideration, will it be a supply? If the two distinct person, one PAN, one GST number and second GST number, let's say it is a state UP, it is Maharashtra state, they are doing the transaction without consideration, there is no money, will it be chargeable to GST or not? क्या ये GST, will it be chargeable to GST or not? Will it be chargeable to GST? Let me ask some question which might not relevant for this topic, but just take revision. It is better. Okay, by virtue of the answer is correct. Schedule 1, it is a supply. It is a supply. What would be the value? It is a supply. What would be the value? Absolutely correct, everyone. What would be the value? Can I say the value will be according to section 15? Can I say the value will be according to section 15? Can I say the value would be according to section 15? किस वैल्यू पर जीएसटी चार्ज होगा? On which value the GST would be charged? On which value the GST would be charged? How to determine the value if it does not have any consideration? So, if you are saying the taxable value, if you are saying the section 15, but section 15 says on the transaction value GST would be charged, but I am saying the transaction value is 0. So, no GST? Does it mean that no GST? नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं है. So it means section 15 cannot be applied. You tell me which provision I have to apply. Which provision I have to apply? Which provision I have to apply? See, everyone kindly give the reply. Which value? At what value I will charge the GST? You are correct in giving the reply that if it is without consideration between distinct person, schedule 1 para 2, it says schedule 1 para 2, it says that yes, it is a supply. Absolutely correct. Now my second question, at which value GST would be charged? You not able to give the answer, but yes, I fully agree with you, with R Prasad, that GST will be charged on the open market value. However, when you go to the rule 28, you will find some proviso, you will find various permutation combination, but the first point is open market value. Correct? You can refer. Let me coming back to the discussion. Let me come back to the discussion. Thank you. Now this saying the option for recovery of the government dues. include the deduction of the money from any amount payable to such taxpayer, detaining and selling any goods, directing any other person from whom the money is due, attaching the property belonging to the defaulter. These are the options, but we will discuss all these options one by one. Where any amount payable by a person to the government under any provision of this act is not paid, then by one or more of the following mode. Means section 79 saying that it could be one option or it could be multiple option, like combination of 1, 2, 3, 4. Answer is yes. They can attach the property and they can recover the money from your customer. Recovery by deduction of money owed. The proper officer may deduct or may require other specified officer to deduct the money so payable from money owing to such person referred to as defaulter. Now we will use the word defaulter, which may be under the control of the proper officer or such other specified officer. Try to understand what is the meaning of other specified officer. A specified officer means the officer of the central government or state government or union territory or local authority or board corporation or a company owned or controlled by the central government, state government or UT or local authority. It could be, let's say, if the amount is refundable by any officer, proper officer or any specified officer, then they can means GST commissioner or GST officer can request to death to withhold the money or to adjust the money. That would be the first recovery. Recovery by sale of goods under the control of the proper officer. Suppose there is any money due and there is any money due of the department which need to be recovered, but the goods has been detained in transit, let's say according to section 129, 130, whatever it has been, under the control of the proper officer, it can be sold off. Proper officer may recover or may require other specified officer to recover the so payable from a defaulter by detaining and selling any goods through a process of auction belonging to such person which are under the control of the proper officer or other specified officer. Okay. Next is inventory is mandatory. Shall prepare the inventory, estimate the market value, and proceed to sell. Only all goods, no, so much of the goods as may be required to recover the money. Where the defaulter pay the amount under recovery, including any expenses incurred before the notice, issuance of the notice for auction, the officer shall cancel the process of the action and the release the goods. Next is garnishing proceeding. Recovery from a third person. Recovery from a third person. The officer may, by notice in the prescribed form, in writing to any other person, for example, Mr. A, against whom the notice has been issued, and he failed to pay within 3 months, then A has the property and it has been rented out to Mr. B. B is giving the payment to A on every month. Let's say 1 lakh rupees ka rent hai. Now the GST officer can recover this money from Mr. B. Can he recover the entire money? Let's say total demand is 10 lakh. Can he recover the entire 10 lakh from Mr. B? No, to the extent it is due by B to A. Or let's say A has sold the goods to Mr. C. Then the officer can send the notice to Mr. C to give the amount to officer instead of A. Quickly tell me, अभी तक हमने 2 recovery process पढ़े थे, point 1, point 2. Short में, this point I will use again and again so that recovery proceeding के जितने भी point है, it would be remembered by all of you before leaving the class today. ठीक है. Tell me the 2 points we have discussed, the mode of recovery. There would be one or more recovery process. प्लीज टेल मी क्या था फर्स्ट पॉइंट और क्या था सेकंड पॉइंट. काइंडली टेल मी व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट पॉइंट, काइंडली टेल मी व्हाट वाज द सेकंड पॉइंट. Kindly tell me what was the first point and tell me what was the second point. We have completed 2 points, 79 1C. I am talking about 79 1A and 79 1B. Correct. Yes, yes. Hemant, you have given the 1 point. Correct. R Prashad, you have given the second point. That is correct. Yes. Now Hemant, you have given the second point also. Very nice. Very nice, beta. And all of the participants, if possible, kindly give the revert. Okay, so Prashant is saying that sir, I am receiving the email of all classes. So I think Madhvinder, you can also check that because some participants are saying that sir, we are getting the email also. So just check, you probably getting the email or there might be some issue in the email. So you check, but yes, we from the ICAI that we will ensure that yes, we can send the reminder also. But yes, Prashant has confirmed that we are getting the email.
So the email
Thank you.
without Zoom link. There is no Zoom link, sir.
Okay.
Classes available on YouTube also, but chat lock, so we can't converse
Sure,
with it.
Sir, sure. We have taken your point. No doubt. So we have taken your point. We'll work upon that. Sure, beta. Now the recovery by the sale of the goods and recovery by the yes. ठीक है बेटा. So now the second point. Now the recovery mode means recovery by selling the goods or recovery buying the money which is owned either by the specified officer or by any other proper officer. ठीक है, then he can recover the money from that person or from that officer. ठीक है. Now the third is recovery from a third person. Recovery from a third person means the officer may, by notice in the prescribed form, in writing require any other person from whom money is due or may become due to that person, who hold or may subsequently hold the money, or on account of such person to pay to the government, either forthwith upon the money becoming due or being held within the time specified in the notice, not being before the money become due or is held. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? जब तक ड्यू नहीं होगा तब तक उस पर्सन को पे नहीं करना गवर्नमेंट को. Such money as is sufficient to pay the amount due from that person or whole of the money when it is equal to or less than the amount means that it become obligation on the third person कि that money he has to pay to the government instead of Mr. A. ये compulsion बन जाएगा. It will become the. How does the department knows the third person? Very good question. I know what are the tax invoice you have issued to you to the customer. Let's say I, being a GST department officer, I can ask for the invoice that you have raised. You have raised the invoice to XYZ. Let's say for to B. On every month, you are raising the invoice. I can see from the GSTR1. I can see from the e-invoice portal. I can see from the e-way bill portal. So by which I come to know that to whom you are collecting the money or you have sold the goods. That could be the reason. Is it clear?
सर
हाँ
सर मैंने पूछना है 79 1A में सर.
नाम?
माधवेंद्र।
क्या माधवेंद्र, बोलो।
सर 79(1)A में जैसे हमारे क्रेडिट लेजर में या कैश लेजर में सर पैसे रहते हैं, तो क्या वो मतलब जो डिपार्टमेंट रिकवरी कर लेती है अपने आप से, वो वही सेक्शन की बात कर रहे हैं सर?
नहीं नहीं, नॉट ओनली टू दैट पॉइंट, वो तो कवर हो ही गया, that will be covered. But even though, let's say you are see, for example, there is a custom department and you
Okay.
have some refund from the custom department, so I being a GST officer can request or can give to the custom officer that kindly hold the money, instead of paying to Mr. A, kindly pay to me.
Sir, this is 71C, garnishing for.
नहीं, garnishing is applicable on third person. It says, let me repeat once again, upper officer may deduct or may require any other specified officer. Custom officer is covered in the 79(1)A. It is not covered in the 79(1)C. 79(1)C is like my tenant, like tenant of Mr. A, like customer of Mr. A. They are not the officer, they are the specified person. They are not the specified person, sorry. आप 79(1)A में जो कवर है वो खुद जीएसटी ऑफिसर या कोई दूसरा ऑफिसर। अब देखिए ना, यहाँ पे स्पेसिफाइड ऑफिसर को डिफाइन किया है। स्पेसिफाइड ऑफिसर का मतलब क्या? एनी ऑफिसर ऑफ द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और यूनियन टेरिटरी एटसेट्रा।
ओके,
इज दैट ओके?
ओके सर, तो इसमें सर जो हमारे क्रेडिट लेजर से और कैश लेजर से भी पैसे डिडक्ट कर लिए जाते हैं कई बार नोटिस देने के बाद, और हम जमा नहीं करते हैं।
अलग प्रोसीडिंग भी है, याद रखना। एक अगर आपको रिकॉल हो सकता, हम अटैचमेंट, सी देयर इज ए, yes, answer is yes, that can be recovered from here, but at the same time there is one provision where they can debit the electronic credit ledger also.
ओके,
हमने आईटीसी के चैप्टर में डिस्कस किया था, that we will discuss if this provision will come here, otherwise you can refer the video of that.
73 और 74 के नोटिस वाले जो असेसी आते हैं ना सर, वो भी ये कंप्लेन करते हैं कि हमारे लेजर से पैसे काट लिए गए ऑलरेडी, और हम अपील में आए हैं फिर उसके लेके।
That could be possible after the expiry of the 3 month, because this money is due. See, this money is payable.
Okay.
But again, there is a controversy that we can leave to the appellate authority to decide.
Okay, sir.
So now the garnishing proceeding is recovery from third person. First point. Second point, every person to whom the notice is issued shall bound to comply with the notice. Where any such notice is issued to the post office, banking company, or insurance, it shall not be necessary to produce the passbook, deposit, receipt, policy, or any other document for the purpose of an entry, endorsement, or the like being made before payment is made, notwithstanding any rule, practice, requirement to that contrary. Okay. Now, it says in case the person to whom the notice is issued, a revenue collector. Okay. So, yes. In case the person to whom the notice is issued fail to make the payment in pursuance thereof to the government, he shall be deemed to be the defaulter in respect of the total amount specified in the notice, and all the consequences of this act or the rules made thereunder shall follow. Officer issuing the notice may at any time amend, revoke the notice, or extend the time limit for making the payment. Any person making the payment in compliance with the notice shall be deemed to have made the payment under the authority of the person in default. मतलब अगर इसने Mr. B ने, let's say he has paid the 1 lakh to the GST officer, it means it will be considered that B has paid the rent amount to A. B has paid the rent amount to A. Further, such payment being credited to the government shall be deemed to be constituted the good and sufficient discharge of the liability of the person to the defaulter. So that I have already discussed with you. Quickly give the answer. What is the time limit? They will not start the recovery proceeding. Quickly tell me in the chat, what is the time limit? They will not start the recovery proceeding. Quickly tell me in the chat, what is the time limit? They will not start the recovery proceeding. Chat में बताना please, सब लोग. प्रशांत, आपने अभी जूम ज्वाइन किया और फिर वापस क्विट कर दिया, इज इट? You joined the Zoom and just now you have quit the Zoom, right? The answer is 3 months. Answer is 3 months, right? Now, when a person to whom the notice is served under proves to the satisfaction of the officer, क्या चीज प्रूव कर देता है? The money demanded or any part thereof was not due to the person in default. He is saying that because the invoice has been issued to Mr. B, but he told, sir, I have already vacated the office. Now there is no money which I need to pay to the defaulter. And this is to the satisfaction of the officer, then, or he did not hold any money on account of the person in default at the time of the notice was served on me, nor is the money demanded or any part thereof likely to become due to the said person on account of such person. Nothing contained in this section shall be deemed to require the person on whom the notice has been served to pay the government any such money or part thereof. ठीक है? Now, first tell me, मतलब क्या होता है? Only I have highlighted certain line. Tell me what is the meaning of this, because you will read at multiple place. This line will read at multiple place, but I am unable to understand what is the meaning. Nothing contained in this section shall be. इसका मतलब क्या है? I am unable to understand. Kindly help me to give the answer कि what is the meaning.
Notwithstanding.
Okay. मुझे आप लोग मतलब बताइए कि what is the meaning of this line. Yes. Nothing contained in this section shall be apply or shall be, मतलब क्या? Notwithstanding anything? No. Answer is no. ये notwithstanding नहीं है. See, it is not the non-obstant clause. It is not the non-obstant clause. देखो, notwithstanding को हम क्या कहते हैं? It is overriding provision. What we are saying, that any language which is, or any provision which is started with notwithstanding anything contained in this section, we are saying it is a non-obstant clause. It means it is overriding. To whom it is overriding, that will be the subsequent part. But please note, it doesn't mean that it is a non-obstant clause. Yes, yes, you are right. Now it is like an exception. It is like whatever the provision we have discussed, this line says the above provision not applicable. Above provision not applicable. It will not apply. To whom it will not apply? Whatever it says. अभी मैं सिर्फ इस लाइन का मतलब बता रहा हूं. मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रहा हूं? देखो, वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एग्जांपल आई विल गिव यू. जस्ट अलाउ मी. मैं इस चैप्टर से थोड़ा सा डेविएट हो रहा हूं एंड जस्ट अलाउ मी. I will go to the place of supply chapter for 1 minute, and because sometime at various places it comes, but we are not able to understand what is exactly meaning. मैं place of supply chapter में जा रहा हूं. I am going to the place of supply chapter and I am going to the section 13. I am going to the section 13. Now, just I will take maximum 1 minute. Section 13, subsection 3, section 13, subsection 3, clause A, and it has the proviso. Proviso says nothing contained in this clause shall apply. अब मतलब है, what is the meaning? कि whatever the clause A you are saying, what clause A saying, like I'm just giving you the brief. Clause A saying, if you are performing the service on the goods, then location of the performance would be the place of supply. You all know, location of performance would be the place of supply. If it says that nothing contained in this clause shall apply, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? जो आप परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई की बात कर रहे हैं, whatever you are talking based on the performance based supply, that will not apply in this case. यहाँ पे उन्होंने क्या एग्जांपल लिया? They've used the, if you have temporarily imported the goods and then you have just not used for any purpose here and you have just exported again, then this provision will not apply. क्या मतलब हुआ? इसका मतलब अगर ऐसा केस है, if you have temporarily imported into India and re-exported after repair, whatever the work is then without being put to use in India, just इतना का है. उन्होंने ये वर्ड यूज नहीं किया कि ये प्रोविजन अप्लाई नहीं होगा. इस लाइन का मतलब है नथिंग कंटेंट इन क्लॉज शैल अप्लाई, मतलब व्हाटएवर द प्रोविजन वी आर डिस्कसिंग दैट विल नॉट अप्लाई. इट मींस दिस प्रोविजन विल बी डिसाइडेड based on the default rule 13 subsection 2 in this case. Fine. Let me go to the again discussion whatever we were doing. So they say that nothing. Okay, fine. Now where the third person make the payment specified in the notice, officer shall issue the certificate in the prescribed form, clearly indicating the details of the liabilities to discharge. Perfect. Now, recovery by sale of movable or immovable property means they can sell the property also. They can sell the property as well. The proper officer may, in accordance with the rules to be made in this behalf, restrain any immovable or movable property belonging to or under the control of such person and detain the same until the amount payable is paid. And in case of any part of the said amount payable or the cost of the distress, keeping the property remain unpaid for a period of 30 days. कितना दिन तक? 30 दिन तक पे नहीं किया. क्या नहीं पे किया? Let's read once again. In accordance with the rules to be made in this behalf, restrain any movable or immovable property belonging to or under the control of that person and detain the same until the amount payable, जो भी default था वो pay कर दिया, and in case any part of the said amount payable or the cost is not paid for a period of 30 days, then next after such distress may cause the said property to be sold through auction including e-auction, and जो भी proceed आएगा may satisfy the amount payable and the cost and shall render the surplus to that person. If any additional amount is there, they will give back to that person. If the proper officer shall prepare the list of movable and immovable property belonging to the defaulter, estimate their value as per the prevalent market price, issue an order of the attachment or distrain and a notice for the sale prohibiting any transaction regarding to such movable, immovable property as may be required for recovering the amount. Let's read again. Proper officer will prepare the list belonging to the defaulter, estimate their value, issue an order of attachment, वो order issue करेंगे attachment का or distrain, and a notice for sale prohibiting any transaction with regard to that movable, immovable property as may be required for the recovery of the amount due. Now, in case of the attachment or distrain of an immovable property, order shall be affixed on the property till the confirmation of sale, or if it is a movable property, then officer will seize the property into the custody. Stamp duty, any other amount, tax payable on the transfer shall be paid by the transferee to the government. This was the fourth category of the recovery mode. Okay. Any property in a debt not secured by the negotiable instrument, is shares in corporation or other movable property not in the possession of the defaulter except for the property deposited in or in the custody of the government shall be attached in the manner provided in the rule 151 that we will discuss subsequently. ठीक है, क्या process है that we will discuss. Where any claim is preferred, any objection is raised with regard to the attachment or disdain of the property by a person claiming that he had some interest or in possession of the property in the question, proper officer shall investigate the same and postpone the sale till such time. If the officer find merit in the claim or objection, officer will release the property fully or partly. Otherwise, officer will reject the claim and proceed the sale. Where the defaulter pay the amount under recovery, including any expenses on the process of the recovery before the notice for auction, then he will cancel. Amount so realized from the sale of the goods or conveyance, movable or immovable property, or the recoveries of the dues from a defaulter, or for recoveries of the penalty under section 129 subsection 3. What is this? That we will discuss in the penalty provision. But yes, this is like penalty under section 129, that is in case like e-way bill invoice is not being supported during the movement of the goods, then penalty can be leviable under section 129. Okay, but we will discuss in detail. Now they are saying that amount so realized from the sale of the goods, conveyance, movable or immovable property for the recoveries of the dues, then how it will be apportioned? First, it will be appropriated against the administrative cost for recovery. Then next, it will be apportioned against the amount to be recovered or to the payment of the penalty payable under 129(3). What is the penalty? Normally, I can say 200% of the tax is the penalty component, but again, in detail, we will discuss in the next class. Next topic, that is offense and penalty. Again, if it is satisfied, then a portion against any other amount due from the defaulter under the GST law, CGST, SGST, UTGST, IGST and rules में टेंडर, and उसके बाद भी अगर बैलेंस बच जाता है, shall be credited to the cash ledger of the owner of the goods as the case may be, in case the person is registered under the GST law. Okay. Now, and where the said person is not required to be registered under the GST law, the said person shall be credited to the bank account of the person concerned. Where it is not possible to pay the balance of sale proceed as per the clause D to the person concerned within a period of 6 months from the date of the sale of the goods or conveyance or such further period as the officer may allow, such balance shall be deposited with the fund. Can you tell me which fund they are talking about? Can you tell me which fund they are talking about? We have discussed in the refund chapter. If you like to ask me, that probably we have discussed in the section 54 subsection 5, section 54 subsection 8. Correct. ये कौन से फंड की बात कर रहा है? Which fund they are talking about? अच्छा. Oh, Prashant, you know that in the place of supply you asked this question of nothing content. Wow. Very nice, beta. You remember that place of supply wala chapter. Very nice. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. The answer is Consumer Welfare Fund, CWF. They are talking about the Consumer Welfare Fund. See, that fund is, if there is any amount to be refunded and they could not find the respective person, then it will be deposited to the Consumer Welfare Fund. In the refund chapter, we have discussed that in the section 54 subsection 8, there are certain circumstances. You can refer that particular provision once again, that in the circumstances, the amount, instead of crediting to the welfare fund, it will be given to the applicant. So like export ki case mein humne padha tha, multiple points they are there. I'm giving you one example. So you can refer that 54 subsection 8, which talks about in these circumstances, instead of getting the crediting the fund, you can give the amount to the applicant. Fine. I hope it is clear, right? So where the property is sold, where the property is to be sold is a negotiable instrument or a share in the corporation. Instead of selling it to the public auction, sell such instrument or a share through the broker, and the said broker will deposit the money to the government, reduced by his commission as may be required. Okay. Any officer or other person who has the duty to perform in connection with such sale will not acquire any interest in the property sold. No such sale will take place on Sunday, other general holiday recognized by the government. Proper officer may seek assistance from the jurisdictional police station if required. Okay. So by this we have completed the 4 provision. Let's take a break of 10 minutes. We will resume at 7:15 and then we'll start the balance provision. तो अशोक जी एक बार 10 मिनट का ब्रेक स्टार्ट कर दीजिए. थैंक यू. recovery as area of land revenue. So this, it says that officer may prepare the certificate in the prescribed form signed by him specifying the amount due and sent to the collector of the district in which such person own any property or reside or carry the business, or to any officer authorized by the government, and the said collector or the said officer on receipt of the certificate shall proceed to recover the money as if it is an area of land revenue. Then recovery as fine imposed by the magistrate. So now it says that Code of Criminal Procedure, notwithstanding anything contained in the CRPC, you might say, sir, in the last class also we have discussed, let me repeat once again, that we all know now the law ka name has been changed. CRPC, correct, CPC and IPC and Indian Evidence Act. Like this name of the law has been made amended, like Bharatiya Samvidhan, Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, etc. Do we need to write that name or should we continue this name? The answer would be you should continue this name only. The reason is because till now the corresponding amendment was not made in the GST section or GST rules. जब हमारा GST लॉ चेंज हो जाएगा, accordingly this study material would change and then we need to give the new name. Till that time you should continue with the old name only. ठीक है. Then it says that notwithstanding anything contained in the CRPC, the proper officer may file an application to the magistrate in the prescribed form to recover the amount specified, and such magistrate will proceed to recover the money as if it were the fine imposed by him. Recovery through execution of the decree, where any amount is payable to the defaulter in the execution of the decree of a civil court for the payment of the money or sale in the enforcement of the mortgage or the charge, the officer shall send the request to the said court, and the court shall subject to the provision of the CPC, Code of Civil Procedure, execute the attached decree and credit the net proceed for the amount of the recovery. Till now, we have discussed 7 points. Quickly tell me what are the points you can tell me. अभी एक बार वापस थोड़ा रिवाइज करते हैं कि आप मुझे कितना पॉइंट बता सकते हैं. We have discussed total 7 points. We have discussed total 7 mode of recovery. So tell me how much point you can tell me. कितने पॉइंट आप मुझे बता सकते हैं regarding the recovery of the taxes? You tell me regarding the recovery of the taxes, how much point you can tell me? We have discussed total 7 point. कोशिश कीजिए 2, 3 जितने भी आपको याद हो पाए हैं. Whatever you could tell, then kindly tell me the provision or method or the different way for recovery of the amount due. Sale of goods. Okay. मैं अभी लिखता हूँ, 2 मिनट आपको देता हूँ, 2 से 3 मिनट. You tell me whatever you can. Janendra, fully agree, but that was not the point right now. That was not exact point. I like to receive your answer. Whatever the method of the recovery has been given in the provision. Correct. Hmm. Very nice. Very nice. Third part. Okay. Okay. You all are requested to tell whatever you can recall. There is no need to there is no need to give me all point. Obviously no. ठीक है. Whatever the point you can tell
हेलो
me, you can.
हेलो
Yes.
हेलो
Yes.
सर आशुतोष हियर।
आशुतोष द्विवेदी.
यस सर।
हाँ बेटा बोल. बोलिए आप.
सर आपने जो हाँ हाँ मैंने चैट में आंसर दे दिया हूँ, और जो आपने 4D1 में बोला था ना, वो अमाउंट हटाने के लिए
आशुतोष
3D में।
सर, आशुतोष
आशुतोष
उसकी बात अभी हम
नहीं
नहीं
नहीं सर,
करेंगे.
हो गया सर,
हाँ.
नहीं हो गया सर। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू, हो गया। थैंक यू
ठीक.
बोलने के लिए बोला हूँ सर।
अरे कोई बात नहीं बेटा. नो नीड थैंक यू. आप लोग बच्चे हो. कोई काम अगर मैंने बताया और अगर वो सही तरीके से हो गया, दैट इज रियली गुड. No need to thank you, but yeah, very good, very good. And requesting everyone, please refer to your friend, please refer to all the student to bring in the class. That is my only, I can say, the request to all the participant, ताकि हर किसी को पढ़ाने में मजा आएगा and we all can enjoy the discussion. Now the point is the third part. अच्छा आशुतोष, आज आपने यहाँ पे ज्वाइन कर लिया. ओके. अभी मैं सोच रहा हूँ वहां पे क्यों नहीं दिख रहे आप मेरे को.
एक्चुअली सर वहां पर आईडी शो हो रही थी, इसलिए मैंने वहां पे इंस्टॉल किया ऐप, और आपसे आईडी ज्वाइन
करेक्ट
कर लिया।
करेक्ट करेक्ट. थैंक यू बेटा. All have given the maximum answer. Very nice. Quickly let me revise. Quickly let me revise the point which we have discussed. You have given almost all the point. The first point, recovery by deduction from any money owned. Second is recovery by sale of the goods under the control. Third is garnishing provision, recovery from third person. 3 complete हो चुका. Fourth is by sale of movable or immovable property. ठीक है. Fifth is recovery as a area of land revenue, recovery as a fine. ठीक है. And seventh is recovery as an execution of decree. Recovery through surety. What is that? The any person has become surety. ठीक है. The amount due by the defaulter, he may be proceeded against under this chapter as if he were the defaulter. Recovery from company in liquidation, where the company is under the liquidation. Under section 88, the commissioner shall notify the liquidator for the recovery of any amount of TIP, tax, interest, penalty, or any other due. Other provision governing the recovery of the tax, where the terms of any bond or other instrument executed under this act or the rules made thereunder provide that any amount due such instrument may be recovered in the manner laid down in the subsection 1 without prejudice to any other mode of the recovery be recovered in accordance with section 79(2). जैसे, can anybody tell me where we require to give the bond or security? GST law में whatever we have discussed till now, since one or 2 months, tell me
प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट।
any provisions where we need to give the bond security something. Okay, yes, you were saying something. कौन? ज्ञानेंद्र? Sorry, Madhvendra. Any who were talking?
आशुतोष सर, प्रोविजनल
Asu-
असेसमेंट।
Yes. Provisional assessment. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, beta. Provisional assessment we need to give the, and quickly tell me in the chat. आशुतोष एक काम करना बेटा, चैट में आंसर देना ताकि सभी लोग पार्टिसिपेट कर सके. एक आंसर मिल जाता ना, फिर बाद में मुझे आंसर देने का मन नहीं करता. तो इसीलिए मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है, जब मैं क्वेश्चन पूछूं तो ट्राई करो आप लोग चैट में आंसर करो, सो ऑल कैन पार्टिसिपेट. क्विकली टेल मी, प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट कितना परसेंट की सिक्योरिटी देनी पड़ती है? हाउ मच परसेंटेज सिक्योरिटी देनी पड़ती है? मैं परसेंटेज लिख रहा था, सॉरी. कितना परसेंटेज देनी पड़ती है? एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट जेनी बेटा. एंड देन वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट द बॉन्ड. यस, यहाँ पे एक तो मेरा था सिक्योरिटी के केस में प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट था, जहाँ पे कितना परसेंट देना पड़ता है? हाउ मच परसेंटेज वी नीड टू गिव? हाउ मच परसेंटेज वी नीड टू गिव? आई हैव रिसीव्ड ओनली वन आंसर फ्रॉम जीनी.
सर मेरा चैट आपको नहीं दिखता? मैंने
नहीं
ऑलरेडी आंसर दिया।
नहीं दिख रहा है, चैट नहीं दिख रहा. आप क्या सेलेक्ट कर रहे हैं? एवरीवन सेलेक्ट कीजिए, या जो भी मेरा नाम आ रहा होगा।
नहीं, यहाँ पर आ रहा है अशोक।
हाँ, तो आपके रिप्लाई उधर जा रहे हैं, अशोक जी को जा रहे हैं, तो आप जो रिप्लाई दे रहे हैं आप मेरा नाम सेलेक्ट कीजिए, देन इट विल कम्स टू मी। हाँ सुतोष, अभी आ गया, अभी आ गया मेरे को। 25%। एंड सेकेंड वी हैव डिस्कस्ड दैट बॉन्ड का कॉन्सेप्ट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इन केस ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट विदाउट पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स, export without payment of IGST, in which can anybody tell me when the bond is required? LUT is different concept, bond is different concept. Quickly tell me, I'll really appreciate अगर आप मुझे बता पाओ कि when the bond is required in place of LUT. See, LUT means we need to furnish one form, that is RFD 11. ठीक है, just prior to the export, I can do the export without payment of IGST. That is only one undertaking, but that is not bond. But it also says that when I can furnish the bond, is it with no, it is not for SEZ. It is in case of when LUT will not work and it is compulsory to give the bond. When LUT will not work and compulsory will, when LUT is halted means when the taxpayer does not pay the tax after exporting. Okay. See, okay. So if you refer the rule 96, you will get the answer, and you can refer my video also that we have discussed in the class. In case of defaulter of payment of taxes of more than 250 lakh, अगर किसी ने टैक्स का डिफॉल्ट किया है 250 लाख से ज्यादा, he cannot export through LUT route, he has to give the bond. एक बार रेफर करना, you will be able to understand. But really appreciated, you all have given good participation in this discussion. Where any amount of the tax, interest, penalty is payable by a person to the government under any provisions or the rules made thereunder which remain unpaid, the officer of the SGST, UTGST during the course of recovery proceeding of the said tax may recover as if it were an arrear of the state tax or UTGST tax, credit the amount so recovered to the account of the government. ठीक है, where the amount recovered under subsection 3 is less than the amount due to the central government, state government, amount to be credited to the account of the respective government in proportion to the amount due to each state government. जैसे कभी इंट्रास्टेट सप्लाई होता है तो उसका क्या होता है, there will be the CGST portion and there will be the SGST portion, and let's say jurisdictional officer is the state government, SGST. So SGST will recover his own portion also as well as the portion of the state central government also. If the money is sufficient, then it will be deposited to the respective central government as well as the state government. If the amount is less, then it will be divided in the proportionate. It's not that first they will pay to the state and then any balance it will goes to the center. No. Then clarification on the legal position of the voluntary payment of tax during the inspection, search, seizure, investigation. During the course of search, inspection, investigation, sometimes the taxpayer opt for deposit the partial or the full GST liability arising out of the issue pointed out by the department during the course of search, seizure, investigation, etc. Instances have been noticed where some of the taxpayer, after voluntarily depositing the GST liability, have at least used use of the force and coercion by the officer for making recovery during the course of the search, inspection, and investigation. In the last class, someone has told me to discuss one provision. Can anybody tell me किस पार्टिसिपेंट ने मुझे कहा था कि सर नेक्स्ट क्लास में अगर टाइम परमिट करे तो आप ये बता देना. लास्ट क्लास में किसी पार्टिसिपेंट ने कहा था कि सर अगर नेक्स्ट क्लास में टाइम परमिट करे, ज्ञानेंद्र आप थे, आपने किसका कहा था? आरसीएम. Which provision you talked about? Is it RCM? Which provision you talked about? Okay, RCM on immovable property. Correct? RCM on immovable property. Correct. So that we will discuss around 8:30 we will. हाँ, इसमें सारे कॉन्सेप्ट बात कर लेंगे, एफसीएम की बात कर लेंगे, आरसीएम की भी बात कर लेंगे और एग्जेम्पशन की भी बात कर लेंगे. We will talk all three component with respect to property, like residential property में क्या, commercial property में क्या, and you all please stay here so that we can discuss the all combination. First you will participate, I will ask the question, you participate, then I will explain the provision and we'll enjoy the discussion. Okay? Because I feel today we will be able to complete by 8:15. Today class. Today chapter we will be able to complete and the balance time we will spend on this provision. Okay. So now please, okay, Gyanendra, so please continue in this class. We will start by 8:15 or approx. Then we will discuss all the combination. Please. Sure, beta. Next point, as clarification on the legal position of the voluntary payment of the tax during the course that we were discussing. So what is the legal position for the voluntary payment of the tax has been clarified for ensuring correct application of the law for protecting the interest of the taxpayer. We all know some places it has been used as a threat. It has been noticed by the CBIC that at some places might be the search could be result into the negative, or I can say coercive action against the taxpayer. So for that they have given some clarity. Under the CGST, the taxpayer has the option to make the voluntary payment. Such voluntary payment before issuance of SCN in 73.5 or 74.5. What it helped? It helped the taxpayer in discharging the admitted liability, self-ascertained or ascertained by the tax officer without having to bear the burden of the interest or delayed payment of the tax. See, for example, if they will delay, तो उन्हें और interest करना पड़ेगा, तो interest will be stopped to the date of the payment, and also to save him for the higher amount of the penalty that we have discussed. Like sometime 10% will not be applicable. You can pay the tax plus interest. Sometime the lesser penalty will be applicable, 15, 25, 50 we have discussed. ठीक है. तो उन्होंने कहा this is optional facility which can be opted by the taxpayer. Yes. My request to all the participant, अगर आपका कोई भी क्वेश्चन है, अगर आपका कोई भी चैप्टर से रिलेटेड कोई भी डाउट है, तो प्लीज टेल मी इन द चैट. Accordingly, I will find the time, will explain. First, I will complete the chapter, and then we will start with the RCM, FCM on the property part. And if the time permit, I will definitely take the question. No problem, Asutosh. You can ask the question. Recovery of the tax not paid, short paid, or can be made under the provision of the section 79 only after following the legal process of notice and subsequent confirmation of the demand. Therefore, there may not arise any situation where recovery has to be made by the officer during the search. This is a very big support to the taxpayer in all the cases where the situation comes that in the search only we need to pay that amount. It has been clarified by the instruction number 1. However, the law does not bar the taxpayer for voluntarily making the payment of any tax liability ascertained by him or by the tax officer, either before or during the proceeding or subsequently. Officer, however, inform the taxpayer regarding the provision of the voluntary tax payment. Okay. Now, section 79 is completed. Payment of the tax or any other amount in installment. Can we pay the tax or other amount in installment? That we are discussing. So, A person can avail this benefit of the payment of tax in installment. Quickly tell me, can we file 3B without making the payment? Can we file 3B without making the payment? Can we file GSTR 3B without making the payment? You can't file 3B without making the payment. So then how to opt the payment of tax in installment for this GSTR 3B? Let's say I'm talking about one practical problem. Assume karo, Madhvendra, your reply, I'm getting your reply now. Probably you were also selecting the name of Ashok sir or something other host, Ajit sir ka. So probably that could be the reason. But yes, now first time I am receiving your reply. तो क्वेश्चन ये आता है, तो इट इज रिलेटिंग टू द only payment penalty or tax order issued by the department. Then okay, very nice. So can we file the 3B without making the payment? You all have given the correct answer. No, I can't make. So can we go for the installment provision? Let's read. Can we go for the installment option given in the section 80 for 3B ka liability as well? A person can avail this benefit by making an application to the commissioner, specifying the reason for such request. Okay. On receipt of the application, commissioner may allow the payment of amount in installment subject to maximum 24 monthly installment and interest. If there is a default in payment of any one installment, whole outstanding balance become due and payable immediately. Fine. Have been explained in detail. Rule 158. Now, a taxable person seeking extension of the time for payment of tax or any amount due or allowing the payment of tax or amount in installment shall furnish an application in the prescribed form. Okay. Commissioner shall call for a report from the jurisdictional officer about the financial ability of that taxable person. Commissioner, upon considering of the same, reason to be recorded in writing, extend the time for payment and allow payment of any amount due under this act other than the amount due as per the self-assessed in any return. What is the meaning? What is this meaning? It means if the liability is self-assessed, and which provision we have discussed regarding this? Can anybody tell me which provision we have discussed regarding this? हमने बात तो की थी कहीं पे. We have discussed somewhere in the assessment. Somewhere in the assessment, can you tell me or can you link me with this chapter? Assessment में कुछ बात की थी. We have talked about, yes. Very nice, beta. Very nice. Section 59. Self-assessment. And we were talking about which return? We are talking about the GSTR 3B, monthly return, monthly or quarterly, whatever. It is self-assessed tax liability. Can we go for the payment of tax in installment for the self-assessed tax liability? It says no. Other than self-assessed liability, it means self-assessed liability आप installment में नहीं pay कर सकते. By such person in monthly installment not exceeding 24, subject to payment of interest and subject to the condition and limited as may be prescribed. However, where there is a default in payment of any one installment, the whole outstanding amount will become due. Further, they are saying facility of installment is not allowed in certain cases. The taxable person has already defaulted on payment of any amount under CSUI, which the recovery is on. The taxable person has not been allowed to make the payment in the preceding financial year under the Act or IGST, UTGST, SGST, or amount for which facility is asked is less than 25,000. ठीक है. Transfer of the property to be void in certain cases. मतलब they are saying if the property is transferred, then it will be void in certain cases where a person after any amount has become due create a charge or part with the property belonging to him or in his possession by way of the sale, mortgage, exchange, or any other mode of the transfer whatsoever of any of his property in favor of any other person with the intention of defrauding the government revenue. Such charge or the transfer shall be void as against any claim in respect of any tax or any other sum payable by the said person. तो क्या बोलना चाहता है, जब कोई अमाउंट ड्यू है फ्रॉम हिम और उस टाइम पे वो कोई चार्ज क्रिएट करता है मिस्टर ए, इस तरीके से या तो सेल कर देता है या मॉर्गेज करता है या एक्सचेंज करता है या एनी अदर मोड ऑफ द ट्रांसफर हुमसोएवर एनी ऑफ हिज प्रॉपर्टी, ए की प्रॉपर्टी है, इन फेवर ऑफ लेट्स से बी विद द इंटेंशन ऑफ डिफ्रॉडिंग द गवर्नमेंट रेवेन्यू. इंटेंशन क्या था, उसको मालूम है कि अब उसकी प्रॉपर्टी सीज हो जाएगी एंड देन प्रॉपर्टी कैन बी डिटेन बिकॉज वी हैव डिस्कस्ड मोड ऑफ रिकवरी की प्रॉपर्टी को अटैच करके सेल भी किया जा सकता है. देन इन दैट केस such claim or such will be void, such transfer. However, charge of the transfer shall not be void if it is adequate consideration in good faith and without notice of the pendency of the proceeding or without notice of the such tax, such amount payable by the said person or with the previous permission by the proper officer. Then tax to be first charge on the property. Section 82 says, again, notwithstanding anything contained. Now this word means it is non-obstant clause. It is non-obstant clause. Notwithstanding anything to the contrary content in the law for the time being in force, save as provided in the IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, by any amount payable by a taxable person or any other person on account of the tax, interest, penalty which he is liable to pay to the government shall be the first charge on the property of that taxable person. Okay. Provisional attachment. Now this provisional attachment we will also discuss in section 122. In the section 122 that we will cover tomorrow, when I will start with the offense and penalty chapter, you will have some interlink with the provisional attachment. उस टाइम पे हम पढ़ेंगे, but what is the provisional attachment that we will try to discuss here, where after the initiation of any proceeding under chapter 12, chapter 14 and chapter 15. What is the chapter? Under chapter 12, chapter 14 and chapter 15. We'll discuss everything because we have to discuss the rule also. Okay. The commissioner is of the opinion that for the purpose of protecting the interest of the government revenue, it is necessary to do so. It means attachment of the property by order in writing. What is it? It is provisional attachment. It is not full attachment. It is provisional attachment of the property. And they have not written the word. They have not written the word key. Will it be movable or immovable? Now we will be able to see. Belonging to the taxable person or any person specified in 122(1)(a). What is that 122(1)(a)? It is for mastermind. This provision was not there when the GST law was introduced. It was later on inserted. Why it was inserted? To catch the mastermind of the defaulter. See, I've given the example. Let me repeat that example once again. Mr. A has taken the registration in the name of the worker, labor, employees who were not so much educated. And he is doing the fake invoicing, everything. When the recovery was initiated, then recovery was gone to the taxable person or registered person, A's ke employee, A's ke worker. They were not in the position to make any payment. They were not having any property. how to do the recovery. Then they have inserted 122(1)(a). That was the main purpose. So they can catch hold those person who does not have the registration in his own name, who does not fall in the category of taxable person, but they are the mastermind of entire game, entire fraud. Then 122(1)(a) was inserted, and later on, when 122(1)(a) was inserted, then they have linked with the section 83. Linked with the section 83, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Now the 122(1)(a) का defaulter अगर कोई है, mastermind है, तो tax penalty whatever it is there, it can be recovered by attaching the property of mastermind as well. That was the intention. ठीक है. Every such provisional attachment shall cease to have effect after the expiry of the 1 year from the date of the order under subsection. It means that is the reason it is a provisional attachment. 1 साल के बाद में it will automatically cease to have effect. Provisional attachment of the property where the commissioner decide to attach any property including bank account in accordance with the provision, he shall pass an order to that effect. The details of the property which is to be attached. Commissioner shall send a copy of the letter of attachment to the concerned revenue authority or transport authority or any authority to place encumbrance on the said movable or immovable property. Either they will give the written instruction from the commissioner, or this is an amendment. What is the amendment? The problem was, what was the problem? Let's say Mr. A ka bank account has been attached, correct? Now, even after the expiry of the 1 year, the bank account was not released. Why? On inquiry, the bank manager or the respective authority are saying, till that time we will not receive the written instruction from the commissioner for releasing the bank account, we will not release. On expiry of the 1 year, it will cease to have the effect. No instruction is required. But when you read the rule was making compulsory to have the written instruction. And therefore, Rule 159 was amended, and then they have inserted or on expiry of 1 year from the date of the order. So now the bank manager or any other authority does not require to wait for the instruction from the commissioner. It will be automatically cease to have effect of that attachment, whichever is earlier. Copy of the order of the provisional attachment to the property, including bank account, shall also be sent to the person whose property is being attached. Where the property attached is of the perishable nature or hazardous nature, and if the taxable person pay the amount equivalent to the market value, or amount that is or may become payable, whichever is lower, then such property shall be released by an order in the prescribed form on proof of payment. However, where the taxable person failed to pay the amount referred above in respect of the said property, then the amount realized shall be adjusted against tax, interest, penalty, fee, or any other amount payable by the taxable person. Can you tell me, in assessment, in the assessment chapter, have we discussed anything about the fee? Assessment के chapter में एक fee के regard में कुछ discussion हुआ था. We have discussed something on account of the additional fee. कोई बता सकता है? In the assessment chapter, we have discussed, one is the late fee that we all know, but they have discussed the concept of additional fee under the one of the section of the assessment chapter. First point, can you tell me under which provision we have discussed? 1 number question. Second number question, can you tell me the quantum of the late fees? Any idea? In the assessment, we have discussed some concept of additional late fees. Okay. Okay. Any other participant? I'm opening that particular chapter. I hope you are able to see the assessment on the screen. Just confirm. Are you able to see the assessment on the screen? Assessment chapter on the screen? Okay. Yes, it is section 63 or 62. Someone are saying 62 or someone are saying 63. कौन सा section था? Just see. Assessment of non-filer of the return. क्या बात है? Very nice, sir. Whomsoever has given the answer as 62, very nice answer. When the order has been issued in the 62, then they are giving the time limit of. Withdrawal of the assessment order. They are giving the time limit of 60 days. The order will be withdrawn if you file the valid return. If you not file the valid return within a period of 60 days, then they are giving the additional time of 60 days. But in that case, you have to pay additional fees of rupees 100 for each day of the delay beyond 60 days. Correct. Very nice. Very nice. All the participants whomsoever is given the answer. Correct. Let me go back. So, however, where the taxable person failed to pay the amount referred in respect of the said property of the perishable sector, the amount shall be adjusted against tax, interest, fees. Any person whose property is attached may at any time file an objection to the effect that the property as attached was or is not liable for attachment, and the commissioner may, after giving an opportunity of being heard, filing the objection, release the property. Commissioner, upon satisfaction that property was or is no longer liable for attachment, can release the property. Attachment of the debt and shares. A debt not secured by the negotiable instrument, shares in corporation, or other movable property not in the possession of the defaulter, except for the property deposited or in the custody of any property, shall be attached in the written order in the prescribed form, prohibiting, in case of the debt, the creditor for recovering the debt and the debtor for making the payment thereof until the receipt of the further order from the officer. एक बार वापस पढ़ते हैं. Debt not secured by the negotiable instrument, shares in corporation, or other movable property not in the possession of the defaulter, except for property deposited in or in the custody of any court, shall be attached by a written order in the prescribed form, prohibiting. क्या prohibit करेगा? अगर debt है तो क्या prohibit करेगा? The creditor from receiving the debt, and तो creditor को क्या restrict कर दिया? You will not take the money from debtor. And debtor को क्या restrict कर दिया? For making the payment to the creditor until the receipt of further order from the officer. तो इससे क्या किया? Debtor को भी restrict कर दिया, creditor को भी restrict कर दिया. अगर ये shares है तो the person in whose name share may be standing from transferring the same or receiving any dividend thereon. तो उसे restrict कर दिया कि one that you will not transfer and one you will not receive the refund. In the case of other movable property, the person in possession of the same from giving it to the defaulter. Okay. A copy of that order shall be affixed in some conspicuous part of the officer of the proper officer, and another copy shall be sent to the debtor in case of share to the registered address of the corporation, and in case of other movable property to the person in possession of the same. नहीं तो क्रेडिटर उसको फोर्स करेगा ना कि भैया पेमेंट दो. सपोज आई हैव सोल्ड द गुड्स टू यू. नाउ यू हैव रिसीव्ड द रेस्ट्रिक्शन that you will not receive the you will not give the payment to me, but I can force you, na. I can repetitively remind you, please make the payment of my last sale, please make the payment of my last sale. तो उन्होंने मुझे भी restrict कर दिया, so I cannot create or I cannot force you to make the payment to me. Or a debtor prohibited under may pay the amount of his debt to the proper officer and shall be deemed to be paid as to the defaulter. Attachment of the property. नहीं, creditor means defaulter. यहां पे मैं सभी क्रेडिटर की बात नहीं कर रहा. मैं सपोज कर मैंने नोटिस इश्यू किया, अगेन I have issued the notice to A. A has made the sale the goods to B. Now officer knows that amount is payable by B to A, correct? So I will give the instruction to B that you not make the payment to A. Similarly, I will give the instruction to A not collect the money from B. It's not to all creditor. Where the officer be attached in the custody, where the property is to be attached in the custody of any court or the public officer, the officer shall send the order of attachment requesting that such property or any interest, dividend becoming payable may be held till the recovery of the amount payable. Attachment in the interest of partnership, where the property to be attached consists of an interest of the defaulter being a partner in the partnership property. The officer may make an order urging the shares of such partner in the partnership property and profit with payment of the amount due under the certificate and may be same or subsequently order appoint a receiver of the shares whereby whether already declared or occurring, etc. Okay. Now, continuation and validation of certain recovery proceeding. Section 84. Without any notice of demand in respect of any tax, interest, penalty, or any other amount payable under this act, herein after referred as government dues, is served upon a taxable person or any other person, and appeal or revision application is filed. What is the concept of appeal? What is the concept of revision application? That we will discuss in our subsequent classes. Or any other proceeding is initiated in respect of the government dues, then where such government dues are enhanced in the appeal, revision, or any other proceeding, commissioner shall serve upon the taxable person or another notice of the demand in respect of by which the government due are increased, and recovery in relation to the government due as are covered by the notice upon him before the disposal of that appeal. Without the service of the fresh notice, the demand be continue from the stage at which the proceeding stood immediately before that disposal. Where such government dues are reduced in case of appeal, revision, or any other proceeding, it shall not be necessary for the commissioner to serve upon the taxable person a fresh notice of the demand. यहाँ पे requirement नहीं है. Commissioner shall give the intimation of the reduction to him and the authority with whom the recovery proceeding is pending. And any recovery proceeding initiated on the basis of the demand served upon him prior to the disposal of the appeal, revision, or other proceeding may be continued in relation to the amount so reduced from the stage at which such proceeding stood immediately before the disposal. Pendency proceeding conducted under IBC covered under the term other proceeding in section 88. This is the last part. The word other proceeding is not defined in the CGST Act. It is to be mentioned that adjudicating authority, appellate authority under IBC is a quasi-judicial authority constituted to deal with a civil dispute pertaining to insolvency and bankruptcy. For instance, under IBC, NCLT serve as a adjudicating authority for insolvency proceeding which are initiated on application from any stakeholder of the entity like the creditor, debtor, employee, stockholder, shareholder, etc., and pass an order approving the resolution plan. As the proceeding conducted under IBC also adjudicate the government dues pending under CGST or under existing law against the corporator, same appear to be covered in the other proceeding under section 84. This is what is being defined by way of circular 187. Now by this we have completed this chapter. As discussed, let's take a break of another 10 minutes. Then we will start the RCM FCM, and then I will start the Asutosh, whatever the question you ask or you will ask on this particular casual taxable person, and any other question if you have, you can post your query in the chat. So after 10 minutes when we will start, let's take a break of till 8:10. अभी हम ब्रेक सिर्फ 10 मिनट 8 मिनट का लेते हैं. अभी सिर्फ 8 मिनट का ब्रेक लेते हैं. We will resume at 8:10 and then we will start with the RCM. You all believe me that I will not discuss only the property related RCM. I will ask as the question of other provision also. Sometime I will ask the random question. You can give the answer. By this we will get the opportunity to revise the RCM certain portion. ठीक है? So everyone please be there. We will resume at 8:10. 8:10 पे resume करते हैं and then we'll start the RCM and any other doubt you have. अशोक जी एक बार 10 मिनट का ब्रेक स्टार्ट करते हैं. Gyanendra has asked the question with respect to the RCM, FCM or the property. ठीक है, very nice. So let me draw the question, some question to all, and you all give the answer, and then we'll share the study material respective provision and try to cover the particular question. ठीक है, अब आप मुझे मैं पहले पूछ रहा हूं आपसे couple of question I'm asking to all. First I'm saying that category of the property, nature of supplier, and let's say only supplier and recipient. Okay. Fine. You have to tell me, will it be FCM, will it be RCM, or will it be exempted in the GST? तो पहले हम ऐसे स्टार्ट करते and then we'll read the understand every question with respect to the provision. Now, category of the property, let's say it's a commercial property. Supplier is registered in the GST and recipient is registered in the GST. Then who will pay the tax? Gyanendra, I like to cover one more part with respect to government wala 5AA, 5A, 5AA, everything. तो मैं यहाँ पे एक कैटेगरी और जोड़ रहा हूँ कि सप्लायर गवर्नमेंट है कि नॉन गवर्नमेंट. ठीक है, who will pay the tax? Is it FCM or is it RCM or is it exempted in the GST? Requesting everyone to give the answer. Fine. I am receiving the answer from all that it is RCM. Okay. Same point I'm just carrying in the another example. If the supplier is registered and rest all details are same, what would be your answer? Will it be RCM, will it be FCM, or will it be exempted? In this case, आपका आंसर क्या होता? Will it be FCM, will it be RCM, or will it be exempted in the GST? एक मिनट. Point is the nature of the transaction is renting of immovable property. I hope you all agree that in the schedule 2, the renting of immovable property just supply the service, and in the section 7 it include the rent, lease. तो आर प्रसाद, अभी इसमें डाउट है क्या कि बिकॉज इट इज इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी सो इट विल बी आउट ऑफ जीएसटी? व्हाई यू आर सेइंग सो? और डू यू थिंक दैट बोथ द आंसर विल बी एग्जेम्प्टेड? तो यहां पर ओके, चलो कंफ्यूजन है. कंफ्यूजन क्या है मुझे बता सकते हो? एक बार आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं? कैन यू प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड देन टेल मी द कंफ्यूजन. अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं? जस्ट टेल मी राउंड. आर प्रसाद, कैन यू अनम्यूट एंड ओके, यू आर इन स्टडी हॉल सर, नो प्रॉब्लम. तो मैं एक बार रिपीट कर देता हूं. Probably it help in resolving your doubt, but still if you have the doubt you can ask the query in the chat. I'm saying when I read the definition of the goods in the section 2 clause 52, okay, it says that any kind of movable property. So what does it mean? It concludes that movable property can never be taxable as goods in the GST. यहां तक एग्री कर रहे हैं? It is also substantiated by the schedule 3, which talks about para 5, which talks about sale of land and completed building, I'm saying. So there are actual languages, schedule 2 para 5 clause be subject to the sale of building. So I'm saying sale of land. So therefore, building itself, if you are selling or you are selling the land, it can never be taxable in the GST because it is out of the goods. But what is the definition of the service? What is the definition of service? Service क्या है? Anything other than goods, other than money and security. My current discussion is not on money and security. So it means immovable property is not goods. It means it can be service. Yes, it can be service, because service does not talk about immovable part or movable part. And then I go to the schedule 2. In the schedule 2, it says, I think para 2, it says that if you are renting, leasing the immovable property, it is a supply of service. So combining all schedule 2, schedule 3, section 7, definition of the goods, combining all three, renting will be taxable in the GST. In some case it is exempted, no doubt. That we will discuss in the today class only. अभी हमने बात की कॉमर्शियल की, ठीक है. Now let's say, now I'm adding same thing. Commercial, supplier is government, recipient is registered, and let's say the supplier is unregistered. Who will pay the tax? Who will pay the tax? Recipient under RCM. Now assume that this time government is also registered under regular category. Under regular category, it is not under section 51. It is registered under regular category. Then who will pay the tax? Who will pay the tax? Will it be RCM or will it be supplier? Will it be RCM or will it be supplier? Means government will pay the tax or RCM will be applicable. Everyone please tell, if the recipient is registered and supplier government is also registered under regular category, who will pay the tax? The answer is here again RCM would be applicable. Why RCM would be applicable, that we will discuss. But again, RCM would be applicable in this case. Now, this is a question. All of you have the doubt. We'll discuss. Now, assume that if the recipient is unregistered, then who will pay the tax? If the recipient is unregistered, then who will pay the tax? If the recipient is also unregistered, then who will pay the tax? So, Madhvendra, you are saying supplier under FCM. You mean to say FCM, right? Or no one? Here there is two doubt. No one or FCM. Means no one means exempted in the GST. So I have received two answers, and for this I have received also majority are saying FCM, but I am saying RCM. So I am writing the two answers. Okay, last point tell me. So I will add here before government. Registered, non-government, recipient is unregistered. Who will pay the tax in this case? Who will pay the tax in this case? Who will pay in this case? Who will pay in this case? Answer 3, correct. Answer 3. The answer is all are saying FCA. Perfect. अभी हमने क्या बात किया? This we have discussed one entry. This is another entry. This is another entry. Let me open the respective provision of the institute material and फिर हम बात करते हैं कि इस केस में क्या होगा. ठीक है, आरसीएम के चैप्टर को ओपन करते हैं. So you raise the doubt with respect to reverse charge mechanism. Okay. Let me go to the entry number 5A. Let me go to the entry number 5A first. Let me go to the entry number 5A. What is the 5A? Service supplied by the central government and in which they have excluded the railway, state government, UT, local authority by way of the renting of immovable property to a registered person in the GST. Who is the supplier? Supplier is the central government, state government, etc. Who is the recipient? Any person registered in the GST. Who will pay the tax? Who will pay the tax? The recipient will pay the tax. Go in my example and then tell me the answer. Tell me the answer. इस केस में जब again go back, whether they have written that government should be unregistered, whether they have written in the category of the supplier the government should be unregistered, क्या ये बात लिखी हुई है कि government unregistered होना चाहिए? Is it written? Answer is no, it is not written. So it means if the supplier is the government, it is sufficient. Whether registered or unregistered doesn't matter. But if the recipient is registered, always it will be attracted reverse charge. Always it will be attracted under RCM. So in this case, if I go, see, government hai, supplier, yes. Recipient registered hai, yes. Then what would be the situation? It will always under RCM by entry number 5A. Whether registered ho ya unregistered ho doesn't matter. Now I am asking the question to all. When it can be under FCM. Tell me when it can be under FCM. Let's say if the supplier is central government and assume that it is registered under regular category section 9. Tell me the two situation where it can be under FCM. आप मुझे वो दो सिचुएशन ऐसी बताओ जिसमें supplier, central government will pay the tax under forward charge. If you have any other doubt, kindly ask in the chat. If time permit, we will definitely take that question of any chapter it is. It doesn't matter. मेरा क्वेश्चन बड़ा सीधा सा है, very simple question. If I am central government and I am registered in the GST, tell me the two situation where I will always raise the tax invoice by charging the GST for the renting of immovable property. Or renting of immovable property. Very nice. I am fully agree with one answer, R. Prashad. If the recipient is unregistered, I fully agree. And Madhvendra, fully agree with you. Hemant has also given the answer that recipient is unregistered. I am fully agree with you. Let me tell you the second answer. If the central government is railway, if the central government is railway, if the central government is railway, then it will be under forward charge. Agree or not? Do you agree with this? Not? और ज्ञानेंद्र, अभी तक आपकी क्वेरी रिजॉल्व हुई? ओनली विद रिस्पेक्ट टू सीरियल नंबर 5A आपकी क्वेरी रिजॉल्व हुई? मैंने सारे परमुटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन कवर कर लिए. I have covered all the permutation combination. Ashutosh, why you are saying maybe yes? Why you are saying maybe yes? I think this you might be you are saying for this entry, na, excluding Ministry of Railway. Central government, Ministry of Railway is the central government only. तो इन्होंने IRCTC is not the Ministry of Railway, right? It would be some other constitution. We need to check what is the constitution. Is it a government company? Is it railway? Is it Ministry of Railway? We have to check. If it is a Ministry of Railway, suppose कर, मैं एक बार एज्यूम करता हूं, अभी मैं आंसर नहीं कंक्लूड करा. इट कुड बी एनी मिनिस्ट्री. ये आंसर आपको सब जगह काम आएगा. याद रखना, इट इज ओनली फॉर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवेज. लेट्स से Ashutosh is asking whether IRCTC is covered or not. There is no one blanket answer for all the situation. Check the composition or structure of any question. क्या वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट है? क्या वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवे है? अगर आंसर यस आता है कि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवे है, देन इट विल बी अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज. अगर आंसर आता है नहीं, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवे नहीं है और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट भी नहीं है, लेट्स से इट इज गवर्नमेंट कंपनी. लेट्स आई एम टॉकिंग एन एग्जांपल. अगर आपका आंसर आता है कि गवर्नमेंट कंपनी है, तो क्या होगा? इट विल बी अंडर RCM और इट विल बी अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज और इट विल बी व्हाट कुड बी द आंसर दैट यू हैव टू डिसाइड. बट मैं ये कहता हूं, अगर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवे नहीं है और अगर वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट है तो RCM आएगा. और अगर गवर्नमेंट कंपनी है, गवर्नमेंट एंटिटी है, वेदर इट हैज बीन कवर्ड इन द, लेट मी टेक दिस एग्जांपल आल्सो. Suppose if the property is commercial, registered under GST, and it is a government company, and recipient is registered or unregistered. First, talk about recipient is registered. Who will pay the tax? Who will pay the tax? Sir, my question is redevelopment of land building, take land for land on the side. But your question is with respect to real estate sector. Gyanendra, your question is with respect to real estate sector. So will it be a point of renting of immovable property? Will it be covered under renting of immovable property? क्या आपने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा ज्ञानेंद्र, क्या ये रेंटिंग ऑफ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी है? नहीं, इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी तो है, पर क्या वो रेंटिंग है? करेक्ट. Then we will discuss in the some other clause. 5B I have to read and then 5C I have to read. I will discuss that also. I will cover. But let me complete this combination. ठीक है, इसमें भी काफी डाउट रहते हैं, so I thought to cover this also. ठीक है, तो आंसर इज, अगर रजिस्टर्ड है अनरजिस्टर्ड कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, इट विल बी अंडर FCM. इट विल बी अंडर FCM. ठीक है. नाउ लेट्स रीड द एंट्री नंबर 5AB. Services by way of the renting of any immovable property other than residential dwelling. Why other than residential dwelling? That we will discuss now. Supplier should be unregistered and recipient should be registered. So you have given the answer. All answer was absolutely correct answer. Supplier should be registered. Supplier should be unregistered. तो जहां पे अनरजिस्टर्ड है वहां पे आपने RCM कह दिया, और जहां पे सप्लायर रजिस्टर्ड है वहां पे आपने FCM का. एंड अगेन हियर द सप्लायर इज, दिस इज द गवर्नमेंट. सो दिस 5AB इज ऑल्सो बीइंग कवर्ड. सो एक एंट्री हमने 5AB को कंप्लीट कर लिया. सेकेंड वी हैव कंप्लीटेड 5A. Okay. Now next entry that we will discuss. That is serial number 5AA. 5AA क्या कहता है? Let's move. Property is residential. Let me ask the question. Supplier is registered non-government, obviously, and recipient is registered. Who will pay the tax in this case? Regarding the government and non-government, I will clarify one more thing. Okay, just wait for some time. I will complete this question and then I will move to the if the supplier is unregistered, recipient is registered, who will pay the tax in this case? Registered? Yes. Okay. Fine. Okay. I have to add one more fact. What is the fact? The property has been taken by the company for its employee and rent is paid by the company. Now, would this additional information give any help to decide the taxability of the transaction? Answer is, in that case, reverse charge would be applicable. In that case, reverse charge would be applicable. Absolutely correct. If the property is residential, supplier is registered, then what would be answer? Will it be FCM? Will it be RCM? Same thing. Only I have made the changes with respect to supplier. Only I have made the changes that now in this case, supplier is registered. What would be your answer? Property is residential. Recipient is registered. Property has been taken for the employee of the company. Will it be FCM? Will it be RCM? So some are saying RCM, some are saying FCM. That we will read. यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा doubt है, that we will come back. Now, let's say property is residential. Supplier is again registered.
सर
हाँ,
कंपनी वाले केस रेसिपिएंट कंपनी होगी सर, एम्प्लॉय होगी?
रिसिपिएंट कौन है? जब हम रिसिपिएंट की डेफिनेशन देखते हैं ना, when we read the definition of the recipient, it simply says the person who is liable to pay the consideration.
कंपनी.
तो आंसर इज कंपनी, तभी आरसीएम एप्लीकेबल है. But suppose if the transaction is like in this way, that I have my property given to the employee is paying the rent to me and employee is further subsequently claiming the reimbursement from the company. In that case, for property, my recipient is unregistered person. Okay. Now, if the recipient is unregistered person, let's say this example we are continuing. I am registered, but the recipient is unregistered and he is the employee of the company. What would be your answer? What would be your answer? Okay. Madhvendra, it is unregistered. Employee, unregistered. Recipient is unregistered. Like second part which I have explained right now. अगर यहां पर रेंट एम्प्लॉय पे करता है, इफ रेंट इज पेड बाय एम्प्लॉय ओनली, subsequently is claiming, then what would be your answer? It will be exempted. Most of the participants are saying exempted and some are saying RCM. Oh, Gyanendra, in this case, kindly tell me, if my agreement is with, okay, So you are saying then when employee is claiming the rent from the company, in that case, when he is claiming the expenditure, then in that case RCM is applicable. Okay. Okay. But at this leg, will it be RCM? क्या मैं जब रेंट पर दे रहा हूं मैं किसी एम्प्लॉय को, will employee has to pay the tax under RCM? Answer is no. It is exempted in the GST. It is exempted in the GST. If agreement is employee with the employee, it will always be exempted in the GST. And due to the residence purpose. Correct. Now tell me, let me take same example, but here property has been taken by the proprietor for his own family residence. Proprietor is registered in the GST. Will it be exempted? Will it be forward charge or will it be RCM? What would be the answer? See, मैंने प्रॉपर्टी किसको दिया? एक प्रोप्राइटर को दिया. प्रोप्राइटर का जीएसटी नंबर वुड बी सेम ना? प्रोप्राइटर का जीएसटी नंबर वुड बी सेम, राइट? प्रोप्राइटर का जीएसटी नंबर और इंडिविजुअल आदमी का जो पैन नंबर था वो सेम होता है, करेक्ट? तो बट वो प्रॉपर्टी जो ले रहा है, वो प्रॉपर्टी इज टेकिंग फॉर हिज ओन फैमिली रेजिडेंस, is not for taking any, but he is paying. मतलब it is not business expenditure, it is not being debited to his profit and loss account. इस केस में आप क्या करेंगे? Now try to understand. Let's see. Try to understand all the answer. (5AA) servicing by way of residential dwelling to a registered person. So point is, if the recipient is registered, then only it is liable under reverse charge. It will never be chargeable under reverse charge if the recipient is unregistered person. यहां पे क्या लिखा है? यहां पे लिखा है any person. It means supplier can be registered or supplier can be unregistered. Here it is immaterial. अगर आपके सामने recipient registered आता है, then it will always comes under RCM. इस केस में क्या होगा? इस केस में क्या होगा? You are not required to see what is the status of the supplier, whether registered or unregistered. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे वर्ड लिखा हुआ है any person. Any person में गवर्नमेंट भी आ जाएगा, नॉन गवर्नमेंट भी आ जाएगा, right? Everyone will cover. So here this bifurcation is also not relevant. This bifurcation is also not relevant to the extent if recipient is registered. So in this case, I can say that it will come under RCM serial number 10. Please confirm. Everyone is clear regarding the serial number 10? Regarding the serial number 10, everyone is clear? Regarding the serial number 10, everyone is clear? Just wait. Just let me explain once again. From 8:50 to 9 o'clock. 8:50 to 9 o'clock. We will do the revision of today discussion जो हमने आज का main topic किया था. In between, because we have the time, therefore I am taking the question, additional question. But in the last 10 minutes, I will go back to the main topic and then I will cover the randomly question. I will ask the random question on the chapter of that demand and penalty. Demand chapter. ठीक है? Demand and recovery. तो वो अपना चैप्टर वापस से स्टार्ट कर देंगे बिकॉज आई थॉट कि टू टेक सम डाउट इफ यू हैव. एंड नाउ लेट मी अगेन ओपन द इंस्टीट्यूट का स्टडी मटेरियल ऑफ एग्जिम्पशन. इंस्टीट्यूट का स्टडी मटेरियल ऑफ एग्जिम्पशन. इट विल बी services by way of renting of residential. I am reading the serial number 12 of the exemption entry. Residential dwelling का अगर renting है तो कब exempt होगा? As a residence. अगर उसका use residence है तो हमेशा exempt होगा. कब exemption नहीं होगा? when it is given to the registered person. So point number 1, it is clear. If it is given to the registered person, then it will always be under RCM. मतलब उस टाइम पर मैं उसका यूज नहीं देखूंगा. It could be used for business purpose or it could be used for residence of employee purpose. It will always come under RCM. Screen share not done. Okay, sorry. Now it's visible. Services by way of the renting of residential dwelling for use as a residence is exempted. कब exempt नहीं होगा? अगर recipient registered है. C. Property is residential dwelling, might be used is commercial or use is residence. Immaterial. If my recipient is registered party, then it will always comes under RCM. Except for the purpose of this exemption, this shall cover the services. This entry shall cover the services to the registered person. The registered person is a proprietor and the rent in his personal capacity for use at its own residence. जो मैंने example दिया था. Same. Such renting is on his own account and that of the proprietor concerned. Explanation 2. Nothing contained in this entry shall apply to the, again, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Tell me what is the meaning. Nothing contained in this entry shall apply का मतलब क्या हुआ? We have already discussed the meaning of this wording. Is it non-obstant clause or what is the meaning of this nothing contained in this entry shall apply to? इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इस exemption का exception है. इस exemption का exception है. Exemption की बात करें ना, when we are giving the renting of residential dwelling to, when we are giving the renting of residential, then it is exempted. So one explanation we have already discussed. Explanation 2 says, मतलब ऊपर वाला exemption will not apply in these cases. That we are not covering today. But मेरा जो point था वो discuss हो चुका, right? Now, you were talking about one more point, correct? Para number 5B. So, Gyanendra, your question, and let me tell Asutosh 5 minutes और है. If you like to ask your question, you can ask the question, but after this completion. Gyanendra, your point is that if the promoter developer take the land and promoting the and doing the construction, in that case, what will happen? They have added the concept of, they have added the 2 entries 5B and 5C. हाँ आशुतोष बात कर सकते हैं. जस्ट अलाउ मी 2 मिनट, लेट मी कंप्लीट दिस एंट्री. ठीक है, देख मैं मान लो प्रॉपर्टी को कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहा हूं और प्रॉपर्टी आपकी है, तो 3 तरीके होते हैं जिसमें आप मुझे प्रॉपर्टी दे सकते हैं और मैं कंस्ट्रक्शन करूंगा. कौन सा तरीका? एक तो लॉन्ग टर्म लीज होती है, मोर देन 30 ईयर्स. ठीक है. दूसरा तरीका होता है आप और मैं एक एग्रीमेंट कर लेते हैं, जिस एग्रीमेंट को हम क्या कहते हैं? TDR, ट्रांसफर ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट राइट. Agreement is called as a joint development agreement. It is called as a JDA. So you are giving the JDA to me and now I have the right to construct the building. उसके आपने मुझे अपना right दिया. So for that I will give you the some portion of the property or some portion of the money. That is मतलब separate topic we will not discuss now and not possible also. Lengthy topic. तो जो JDR जो मुझे राइट आपने दिया, वट एवर द राइट यू हैव गिवन ऑन योर लैंड, सो उसके रिगार्ड में आई बीइंग ए प्रमोटर विल पे द टैक्स अंडर रिवर्स चार्ज. इसका वैल्यूएशन कैसे होगा? दैट इज ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट टॉपिक, बट एज्यूम कर लीजिए वैल्यूएशन इज बीइंग गिवन, देन यू विल पे द, आई विल पे द टैक्स अंडर RCM बिकॉज ऑफ प्रमोटर. सो पहला हमने क्या बात किया? इट इज लॉन्ग टर्म लीज. सेकेंड हमने बात किया TDR के रूप में, और थर्ड होता है FSI, जिसमें आपका मान लो आपकी लैंड है and you have constructed 2 floor. ठीक है, but according to that particular municipality authority you can construct 2 more floor. So you will give the FSI right or additional FSI right to me and I will construct to your floor. तो जितना भी अपना amount decide होता है, for this I being a promoter will pay the tax under RCM. Is that okay? or you have any other doubt? So quickly complete करें. तो मैं ज्ञानेंद्र, मैं इनके क्वेश्चन पे अप्रोच करता हूँ. आशुतोष का एक क्वेश्चन है एंड देन आई विल गो टू द क्विक राउंड द क्वेश्चन. क्लियर है ना? एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर? Whatever you ask me to take the discussion on the property FCM RCM. लॉन्ग टर्म हमेशा एग्जेम्प्ट नहीं है. लॉन्ग टर्म एग्जेम्प्ट है वो, अगर मैं मतलब वो आप देख लीजिएगा लॉन्ग टर्म कब कब एग्जेम्प्ट है कब नहीं है. दैट प्लीज चेक. अदर इफ इट इज एग्जेम्प्टेड देन नो टैक्स, अदरवाइज इट विल बी टैक्सेबल. उसमें भी क्या है, एक वो कॉम्बिनेशन है. अगर मैं वो प्रॉपर्टी सेल करता हूं अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन, तो अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन में क्या होता है, सी वन वेरी वेरी बेसिक फंडा टू रिमेंबर दैट एग्जम्पशन. अब देखो, मैं प्रमोटर हूं, मैंने कोई प्रॉपर्टी सेल की अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन, मतलब बिफोर सीसी. डू आई नीड टू पे द जीएसटी ऑन दैट सेल ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी? इफ आई हैव सोल्ड द प्रॉपर्टी बिफोर कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट, डू आई नीड टू पे द जीएसटी ऑन दैट प्रॉपर्टी? आंसर इज यस. बिकॉज आई एम पेइंग द जीएसटी ऑन दैट, बिकॉज आई एम पेइंग द जीएसटी ऑन दैट, तो जो मुझे प्रमोटर, जो जेडी है ना, जो जेडीए वाला प्रॉपर्टी राइट वाला है, मैं सीरियल नंबर 5B की बात कर रहा हूं, देन इन दैट केस इट वुड बी एग्जेम्प्टेड. बट स्टिल आई रिक्वेस्ट ज्ञानेंद्र, आप उसको चेक कर लेना एग्जेम्पशन के साथ. आपका क्वेश्चन क्लैरिफाई हो चुका. नाउ आशुतोष काइंडली अनम्यूट एंड आस्क योर डाउट. आशुतोष काइंडली अनम्यूट एंड आस्क योर डाउट.
हेलो.
हाँ आशुतोष, आवाज आ रही है मेरे को.
सर मैं मतलब बोल रहा हूँ कि मान लीजिए सिटी मैं कर्नाटका में रजिस्ट्रेशन ले रखा हूँ और मुझे दिल्ली में बिजनेस कंडक्ट करना है. तो जीएसटी जो है स्टेट बेस्ड आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना पड़ता है.
राइट.
तो मैं दिल्ली को एडिशनल प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस नहीं ऐड कर सकता है. इसके लिए हमको सेपरेट सीटीपी अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा.
राइट.
तो सीटीपी जब मैं अप्लाई करने के लिए जाता हूँ तो वहां पे ऑटोमेटिकली आया जाए, जैसे हम रेगुलर एप्लीकेशन देते हैं वैसे सेम एप्लीकेशन फाइल करना पड़ता है. तो फिर आपका जो कर्नाटका का जो रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर है उससे कुछ उसका रेफरेंस रहता है या नहीं रहता है?
नहीं, कोई रेफरेंस नहीं रहता.
कोई रेफरेंस, ठीक है, नहीं रहता है. अब कोई एग्जीबिशन है, हमको वहाँ बिजनेस कंडक्ट करना है, वहां को गुड्स लेके जाना है, तो हम क्या टैक्स इनवॉइस बना करके लेके जाएंगे या डिलीवरी बना के लेके जाएंगे?
फ्रॉम
कर्नाटका टू दिल्ली.
फ्रॉम कर्नाटका टू दिल्ली. देखो, फर्स्ट टाइम पर देखो, अगर आपने रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लिया, ठीक है, इन दैट केस इट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज वन पेन में 2 जीएसटी नंबर हो गए.
यस सर.
2 एंगल है, देख 2 एंगल है, दोनों एंगल की बात करता हूं मैं. 2 पॉइंट है, दोनों पॉइंट की बात करता हूं. फर्स्ट पॉइंट हुआ, से कर्नाटका पार्टी इज मेकिंग द सप्लाई टू द दिल्ली वाला पार्टी बिकॉज इट इज a distinct person. It will cover in the schedule 1 para 2.
Yes.
Supply or services. Then it will be through tax invoice. It will be through tax invoice. Then subsequently जो मेरी दिल्ली वाली पार्टी है वो जब भी सेल करेगी, then they will sell against the tax invoice. Assume that there is no sale in the that particular exhibition. तो सारा रिटर्न होगा गुड्स
जी.
तो गुड्स रिटर्न होते 34 सबसेक्शन 1 क्या कहता है, इन केस ऑफ गुड्स रिटर्न यू कैन इश्यू द क्रेडिट नोट. देन दिस सप्लाई कर्नाटका वाला ही विल इश्यू द क्रेडिट नोट टू दैट पार्टी. इज इट क्लियर? पॉइंट नंबर 1 इज क्लियर.
वो तो सर क्लियर है, लेकिन फिर जो एडवांस टैक्स पे करते हैं,
एक मिनट मेरे को अभी कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ, डिस्कशन कंप्लीट हुआ. मेरे को एक बार दूसरा एंगल टच करने दे दोस्त.
ओके सर.
दूसरा एंगल है कि मैं जो ट्रांसफर कर रहा हूं वो सप्लाई नहीं है. एज्यूम करता हूं, मतलब you can treat also that in that way कि that I will not make the sale. Then in the least possibility you can do the movement on the delivery चालान. But अब आप रिफंड का क्वेश्चन पूछिए. What is the refund question?
सर यहाँ पे रिफंड नहीं, अगर हम डिलीवरी चालान कैसे कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि वो इंटर स्टेट सप्लाई हो जाएगी.
मना कर रहा हूँ ना, मैं तो मना कर रहा हूँ. I am saying that it is always the possibility of one number, but some case में कुछ लोग फॉलो करते होंगे. तो मैंने कहा प्रैक्टिकली you might see the delivery चालान, बट लीगली आप मेरे को पूछेंगे तो मैंने आपको कहा ना, शेड्यूल 1 पैरा 2 क्लियरली सेइंग कि दैट इट इज सप्लाई.
यस सर. और से जब सीटीपी में रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लेते हैं तो कितने दिन में अप्रूवल मिल जाता है? एक्चुअली मैंने किया हूँ हमारे यहाँ पर.
नो आंसर ना, लॉ में तो कहीं लिखा हुआ नहीं है ना.
हाँ, एक्चुअली 1 वीक हो गया तभी वो नहीं मिला अप्रूवल. और अगर सेपरेट रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना है तो सीटीपी का प्रोविजन ही क्यों इंसर्ट किए हैं? आप वो सिंपली बोल सकते हैं कि आप वहां जाकर रजिस्ट्रेशन लो, क्योंकि
उस टाइम पे आपके पास तो कोई फिक्स प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस नहीं होगा ना. You will not have any fixed place of business in Delhi. You are coming for temporary purpose, and you do not want to do the compliances for the longer period.
That is correct.
और उसमें ऑटो कैंसिलेशन है, मतलब एक मात्र सीटीपी और एनआरटीपी का रजिस्ट्रेशन ऐसा होता है जिसकी एंडिंग लाइफ फिक्स्ड है.
जी.
बट रेगुलर ले लेंगे तो आपको कैंसिलेशन के लिए भी माथामुड़ी करना पड़ेगा.
एक्चुअली सर मैंने अभी कुछ किया था ऐसे ही, तो उसमें मैं डिलीवरी चालान के थ्रू ही गुड्स भेजा हूँ. रजिस्ट्रेशन तो हो गया था, लेकिन रजिस्ट्रेशन अप्रूवल नहीं हुआ.
Correct. So you will need to unnecessarily be the complicated if you take the regular registration. Also, they will ask the address proof, they will ask the rent agreement, but which you will not be able to provide, and therefore you can't take the regular category of registration in the state of Delhi. So is it over?
और सर एक व्यू सर और था कि हमारे जो सीनियर थे वो बोल रहे थे कि आप वहाँ पे एडिशनल प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस ऐड कर सकते हो अपने कर्नाटका वाले में, बट ये कैसे पॉसिबल है? कर्नाटका में कैसे हो सकता है?
नहीं पॉसिबल है. करेक्ट,
नहीं पॉसिबल. वही तो, वो अदर स्टेट हो जाएगा.
फाइन, हाँ अदर स्टेट हो जाएगा, नहीं पॉसिबल है. So let me move to the today topic. What was the today topic that we have discussed? Demand and recovery. In 2 classes we have completed. Let me ask the random question and answer to all, and you all give me the answer. ठीक है, जो भी, ताकि हमारे पास में जो भी टाइम बचा we can use effectively, we can use this time. अब एक बात बताइए, can the property of mastermind be also attached? Can the property of the mastermind be also attached in the GST? अब मैं mastermind की प्रॉपर्टी GST अटैच कर सकता है? Answer is yes, sir. The property which is being attached, it will be cease to have effect after a period of. It will be cease to have the effect after the period of. After the period of 1 year from the date of attachment of order. In the last class, we have discussed that all the proceeding in respect of said notice in section 73 and 74, we have discussed all the proceeding will be deemed to be concluded. उसमें क्या provision include नहीं है? In which we have discussed that it will not include one proceeding. What was that proceeding? In section 73, 74, if person has paid the whatever the tax interest deemed to be concluded, but still it says that proceeding will not be concluded and that will continue at standalone. Very nice, yaar. Very nice. Section 132 prosecution की बात करता है, वो जो ठीक है वो बात करता है. एंड वन मोर थिंग, अगर डिमांड मेन नोटिस के अगेंस्ट में खत्म हो गई है, इफ इट इज डन, देन क्या वो डिमांड को नोटिस के लिए भी खत्म हो जाएगी? विल द को नोटिस बिल also be deemed to be concluded? Will the demand against co-notice will also be deemed to be concluded? Answer is yes, it will be deemed to be concluded. The word suppression has been defined in the 73-74. Can you tell me what was that suppression? Can you tell me what is the meaning of suppression? Perfect. Non-disclosure in the return statement or something like that. Okay. There some monetary limit has been fixed for issuance of the supposed notice for according to the designation of the officer. If superintendent is issuing authority for the notice, then what is the monetary limit of the CGST? What is the monetary limit of the CGST? Correct. What is the monetary limit of the CGST? Okay, the answer is 10 lakh CGST. If fraud, willful misstatement, suppression is not being established in the appellate mechanism, so earlier notice has been issued in the 73, that notice was not sustainable in the appellate mechanism, then whether adjudicating officer, adjudicating authority has to issue the notice again, or this will be deemed to be concluded 73 का notice, और this will be deemed कि ये 73 का notice है. क्या ये 73 का notice मान लिया जाएगा, या मैं एक ऑफिसर हूं तो मुझे वापस एक नोटिस इश्यू करना पड़ेगा?
हेलो
सर आप, हाँ
सर, यहाँ पे मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है कि जब वो
एक अभी चैट
74
पे बात कर, सॉरी 2
नहीं,
मिनट दो,
सर,
मेरे को कंप्लीट करने दो. वट एवर यू आर द क्वेश्चन, वी विल टेक द क्वेश्चन आफ्टर 2 मिनट. एक बार 2 मिनट तक रिवीजन कर लेते हैं क्विकली, एंड देन विल टेक अप द क्वेश्चन ऑल. डू नॉट हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम. इज इट ओके? कौन? ज्ञानेंद्र, माधवेंद्र, जो भी. यस, यहाँ 2 ईयर 9 मंथ में आपका जो ओरिजिनल नोटिस है 73 वाला, वो आपका होना चाहिए. ठीक है. अगर मान लो ओरिजिनल नोटिस 74 का आफ्टर द एक्सपायरी ऑफ द 2 ईयर 9 मंथ दिया है, तो क्या वो डिमांड सस्टेनेबल रहेगी या नहीं रहेगी? विल दैट डिमांड बी सस्टेनेबल और नॉट? आंसर इज नॉट सस्टेनेबल एट ऑल. इट हैज बीन क्लैरिफाइड बाय द सर्कुलर ऑल्सो. It has been clarified by the circular also. It has been clarified by the circular also. What is the time limit to issue the order? See, if after the direction that yes, you need to conclude, you need to issue the, then what is the time limit to give the order? Within how much time they have to conclude? Court has given that direction, or appellate authority has given that direction, then within how many period this order has to be issued? An order is required to be issued within how many period from the date of the communication or date of the direction? The answer is 2 year. Answer is 2 year. Answer is 2 year. Correct? एक को याद है, एक हमने पढ़ा था फेक इनवॉइसिंग का. 3 पार्टी थी. A has issued the fake invoice to B and B has taken the ITC. तो क्या A के ऊपर 73, 74 will apply? माधवेंद्र, ये हम जो बात कर रहे थे वो 75(3) की बात कर रहे थे. यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट 2 ईयर ना? यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट 2 ईयर, राइट? सो 75 subsection 3 है वो. A is involving in the fake invoicing. तो क्या A के ऊपर 73, 74 अप्लाई हो सकता है क्या? Will the 73, 74 be applied? He has not given the supply. He has not given the supply of any goods or services. He is only issuing the invoice. Will the 73, 74 be leviable on that A? The answer is no. आप एक बार सर्कुलर रेफर कर लेना. यू ऑल आर हैविंग द डिफरेंट आंसर, सो आई डोंट नो व्हाई वी हैव डिस्कस्ड दैट सर्कुलर इन डिटेल. आप, मैं इंस्टीट्यूट का पेज नंबर भी बता देता हूँ, मटेरियल का पेज नंबर 26, 27 पर है दैट सर्कुलर. एंड सर्कुलर हैज गिवन दी 171 सर्कुलर है, जिसमें उसने कहा कि यस, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट अ सप्लाई. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट जिनी, हेमंत, आशुतोष. तो बिकॉज इट इज नॉट ए सप्लाई, देयरफॉर देयर इज नो टैक्स लाइबिलिटी. और अगर कोई टैक्स लाइबिलिटी नहीं है तो क्वेश्चन जो 5 प्रॉब्लम्स है, टैक्स नॉट पेड, शॉर्ट पेड, इरोनियसली रिफंडेड, वो अराइज ही नहीं होगी. देयरफॉर नो पेनल्टी, नो प्रोसेस कैन बी इनिशिएटेड, नो प्रोसीडिंग कैन बी इनिशिएटेड इन द 73, 74, बट यस 122 का पेनल्टी कैन बी लेविएबल. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट आशुतोष, यू हैव गिवन द reference of the provision also. Thank you very much. From my side, the class is completed, but I would request if anyone has the question, please unmute and ask.
सर वहां मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि 74 में टाइम लिमिट आई थिंक 4 years 9 month है, 73 में
6 months।
लेस है। हाँ, तो 74 में जब नोटिस मिला, जब हमने उसको रिप्लाई दिया तो वहां पर वो एडजुडिकेशन गया, वहां पर से वो 73 में कन्वर्ट हुआ। बट 73 का टाइम लिमिट तो कम है, और और हम उस नोटिस का रिप्लाई दे चुके हैं, तो वो जो भी डिमांड होगा वो डिमांड तो इनवैलिड मतलब हो जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि टाइम लिमिट है नहीं उसका।
यही तो कहा ना, सर्कुलर 185 में यही बात कही ना उसने कि अगर वो ओरिजिनली वो कन्वर्ट हो गया ना तो आपको
बट
देखना पड़ेगा।
बट सर, हम यहाँ प्रैक्टिकली जो मैंने देखा है कि यहाँ पे कन्वर्ट होने के बाद भी वो लोग असेसमेंट ऑर्डर पास कर देते हैं, उसके बाद भी आप उनको रिप्लाई दो, नहीं तो फिर वो आपको वो रिकवरी प्रोसीडिंग चालू कर देंगे। आप
यू आर सेइंग, सी, यू आर सेइंग that there is a direction of appellate authority कि this demand is not sustainable on non fraud, फ्रॉड केसेस में तो ये नॉन फ्रॉड माना जाएगा। क्या ये डायरेक्शन था?
जी सर।
कैसे डायरेक्शन हो सकता है मुझे बताएं, प्रैक्टिकली मैंने देखा नहीं इसलिए मैं पूछ रहा हूँ।
जब फर्स्ट नोटिस हमको मिला था वो 74 में उन्होंने दिया, 74 में।
ठीक है,
उसका रिप्लाई रिप्लाई जब हमने एडजुडिकेशन में दिया तो उन्होंने उसको 73 में कन्वर्ट किया।
अच्छा उसको कन्वर्ट कर
73,
लिया उन्होंने।
हाँ 73 कन्वर्ट किया। अब 73 में कैसे नोटिस वो हो सकती है जब उसका टाइम लिमिट ही एक्सपायर्ड है? तो
ठीक है, तो आप ये कह रहे हैं 2 year 9 month के बाद में वो SCN इश्यू किया था।
यस सर।
तो अब आपको क्या करना है, प्रैक्टिकली हो सकता है वो एडजुडिकेशन कर रहे होंगे, प्रोबेबली कर रहे होंगे, मैं मना नहीं करता, बट पॉइंट है कि अब तो हमारे पास में CBIC का सर्कुलर 185, यू जस्ट सो वंस दे विल इशू द ऑर्डर यू कैन फाइल द अपील।
नहीं, एक्चुअली सर फिर अगेन हम लोग उसका जो भी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन प्रोसेस रहता है वो अगेन सबमिट करते हैं कि यहाँ पर मतलब हम लोग कि रॉन्ग नहीं है, आप सारा देखो सारा टैक्स पेड किए हैं, उसके बाद सेटिस्फेक्शन हो जाता है तो वो वहां पे विड्रॉल करते हैं।
ओके, बट अगर मान लो वो कोई नहीं मानते, कोई कही हुई बात, मान लो लॉ की बात है, वो अगर नहीं मानते तो हम टैक्स पेयर के पास में एक ही रास्ता है कि 107 में जाके अपील करें और वहां पे डॉक्यूमेंट बताएं। अगर मान लो आपके केस में वो मान गए तो वेल एंड गुड है, नो प्रॉब्लम, बट अगर वो नहीं मानते हैं, कोई केस ऐसा भी हो सकता है जहां पे वो फॉलो ही नहीं कर रहे हो, इन दैट केस वी ओनली हैव द मैकेनिज्म इन द लॉ, दैट इज अपीलेट अथॉरिटी।
अच्छा सर,
उसमें
ऐसा भी मतलब हो सकता है क्या कि सपोज दैट मैंने रजिस्ट्रेशन कर्नाटका में ले रखा हूँ, और मैं जो जो ईमेल आईडी मैंने रजिस्ट्रेशन के वक्त दिया था वो मैं ज्यादा यूज नहीं करता हूँ, बहुत रेयर केस यूज करता हूँ, तो वहां पे नोटिस आई थी, मैं नोटिस को देखा नहीं, और जो मैंने मोबाइल नंबर दे रखा था उसमें मैंने रिचार्ज नहीं कर रखा था, तो उस पर मैसेज भी नहीं आया। उन्होंने नोटिस नोटिस दिया, उसके बाद आजकल नोटिस सारा मेल पर आता है और पोर्टल पे आता है। उसके बाद उन्होंने जब नोटिस का टाइम खत्म हुआ तो उन्होंने ऑर्डर पास कर दिया। ऑर्डर पास करने के बाद उन्होंने मेरा बैंक अकाउंट फ्रीज कर दिया। अब मेरे को जब मैं बिजनेस नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ तब मेरे को पता चला कि ये यहाँ पे नोटिस था, नोटिस का रिप्लाई देना चाहिए था, नहीं दे पाए हम लोग। तो उस केस में सर अपील का भी टाइम ये वो हो गया, एक्सपायर हो गया।
हाईकोर्ट,
अब मैं
हाईकोर्ट
तो मैं
रही,
सर मैं हाँ, नहीं, इस ड्यूरेशन में सर हमारा जो बिजनेस होगा उसको मैं स्टॉप थोड़ी कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि वो
आप
बैंक
बिजनेस
अकाउंट में।
करते रहिए, आप
तो
बिजनेस करते
बैंक
रहिए।
सर बैंक अकाउंट तो फ्रीज हो गया ना, तभी लेन देन कैसे करेंगे फिर
वो
पैसे का?
प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम है दोस्त, मैं एग्री कर रहा हूँ, वो प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम है जो हम सभी लोग फेस कर रहे हैं, उसका एकेडमी से कोई रिलेटेड नहीं है अभी इस डिस्कशन में। तो मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि हम आज के डिस्कशन को या इस क्लास के डिस्कशन को लिमिट करें जो सीए फाइनल का सिलेबस है। आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट, बट ओनली वन आंसर, दैट प्रैक्टिकल सॉल्यूशन इज द हाई कोर्ट, बट मैं उसको ज्यादा लेंदी डिस्कशन नहीं करना चाहता बिकॉज इट इज ओनली फॉर द सीए फाइनल स्टूडेंट्स। Any other participant, if you have any query on your academic part, I will definitely give my view on that. Any participants?
सर एक और क्वेश्चन है, इन केस जो नोटिस है वो टाइम एक्सपायर होने के बाद आती है तो उसका रिप्लाई देना कंपलसरी है या नहीं देना, मतलब कि छोड़ देना है, लीव इट,
नहीं,
मतलब
रिप्लाई
नोटिस
ऑलवेज
आए।
देना चाहिए, रिप्लाई ऑलवेज देना चाहिए, बट यू कैन अटैच द सर्कुलर, यू कैन गिव द रेफरेंस ऑफ द सर्कुलर सेइंग दैट कि भाई ये जो आपने कहा है दैट इज टाइम बार्ड एंड इट हैज बीन क्लैरिफाइड बाय द सीबीएसई इन सो एंड सो सर्कुलर, अकॉर्डिंगली यू आर नॉट ऑथराइज्ड और दिस इज टाइम बार्ड, बट रिप्लाई हमेशा देना चाहिए।
सर
हाँ माधवेंद्र बताएं।
4 में सर बात कर रहा हूँ, अगर हमने सप्लायर को सर पेमेंट किया है और मैं जेन्युइनली आईटी से क्लेम कर रहा हूँ और आगे उन्होंने टैक्स जमा नहीं किया और हमारे यहाँ से नोटिस आ गया तो फिर मतलब कि आप उसको रिवर्स करो जो आपने आईटीसी क्लेम किया है। तो सर 16(4) में हमें मतलब सेक्शन 73 और 74 में अगर ऐसे नोटिस आते हैं जहाँ पे हमने जेन्युइनली पे किया हुआ है, आईटीसी सही क्लेम किया हुआ है, तो सर हमें 107 में सर जब हम अपील में जाएंगे तो वहाँ क्या हेल्प मिल सकता है सर हमें?
डिपेंड्स देख, अपील में आपको हेल्प मिल सकता है या नहीं मिल सकता, नॉट श्योर। मतलब बट आपके पास में रास्ता क्या है? आपके पास में रास्ता लॉ में फिक्स है कि आप अगर किसी भी ऑर्डर से सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है तो आप अपील कर सकते हैं 107 में। अब देख, अपीलेट मैकेनिज्म जीएसटी लॉ में क्या है, जो अब हम आगे के चैप्टर में पढ़ेंगे। पहली अपील है 107 में। कौन सी अपील है? फर्स्ट लेवल ऑफ अपील, जिसे हम कमिश्नर अपील कहते हैं। सेकंड, आपके पास में ट्रिब्यूनल है। थर्ड, हाई कोर्ट है। फोर्थ, सुप्रीम कोर्ट है। तो मान लो अपीलेट अथॉरिटी भी एग्री नहीं करती, देन यू हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू गो अगेंस्ट दैट ऑर्डर टू दी अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल, जो अभी तक कॉन्स्टिट्यूट नहीं हुआ है। इट इज नॉट फंक्शनल टिल डेट। तो जब भी वो बन जाएगा तब आप करोगे, अदरवाइज पॉसिबिलिटी है कि वो सुने या ना सुने। देयर कुड बी द टू पॉसिबिलिटीज।
सेम ऐसे इशू आरसीए में भी होते हैं कई बार कि मतलब हमें आरसीए
हर जगह इश्यू है, बट आपको वो अपीलेट मैकेनिज्म का प्रोसेस फॉलो करना पड़ेगा। देयर इज नो अदर सॉल्यूशन।
ठीक है सर, मतलब हमें अपना डिपार्टमेंट कहता है कि आप ये मुझे अश्योर करो कि सामने वाले ने आरसीए में पे किया है नहीं किया है टैक्स। तो ये तो सर मतलब अगर आरसीए पे फॉल कर रहा है तो फिर ये सप्लायर का
और
सर तो
एक बात और कहना चाहूंगा माधवेंद्र, एक बात और कहना चाहूंगा। एक हमारा सर्कुलर हमने डिस्कस किया था आईटीसी के चैप्टर में 183 एंड 193। एक बार आप देख लेना, शायद वही था सर्कुलर। दैट सर्कुलर यू कैन रेफर। मतलब 2A 2B के जो 2A और 3B में डिफरेंस था, बट इट वाज ओनली फॉर द इनिशियल ईयर्स।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। गुड नाइट टू ऑल ऑफ यू। अशोक जी, वी कैन क्लोज द डिस्कशन ऑफ टुडे। थैंक यू, गुड नाइट।